Good evening and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. It is brought to you by Final One Standing. It's new from William Hill, 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply. Deadline for all leagues is Saturday, 12:30. If you've been knocked out, there's a new 20k game to enter. Tough week of fixtures. We've already been having a bit of chat in the studio about who are we going for, who are we not going for. We got the Merseyside derby, United home to Chelsea, Arsenal v Man City on Sunday. So perhaps people at home might need to be a little bit clever and think a little bit outside the box for Final One Standing. Again, deadline for all leagues is Saturday, 12:30. Final One Standing. If you're not already, make sure you get involved. It is plenty of fun. So it is talkSPORT Goals. I am your host, Sam Ellard. To my left-hand side, with Chelsea in action this evening, with Liverpool in action this evening. There really is only two guys you could join me, Kwaku Wafari and Ryan Bromelo. Gents, a very good evening. How are we?
All good, man. All good.
We are bubbling along nicely, aren't we? So it is the Champions League. It is the first week. So, of course, slightly different, isn't it? Where all the games are spread across 3 nights as opposed to 2. We had some games last night. We got some games tomorrow night. We got 6 games this evening. talkSPORT Goals will be taking you through watching all the games with you, and we'll be making lots of random noises, and I'm sure I'll be making lots of terrible offside calls. That's the thing that I always get wrong. I think everything's offside. It's never offside. And if I think it's onside, it's always offside. 2 games starting just before 6 o'clock. Olympiacos, Paphos is goalless. Slavia Prague are beating Bodo Glimt by a 1-0. As mentioned, it is Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid this evening. And the big news, Alexander Isak starts for Liverpool. He plays as the number 9, Salah and Gakpo out wide, Wirtz playing in behind. So interestingly, it's Ekitike who is on the bench. So Bosline, Gravenberch in the midfield 2 together. McAllister on the bench. Frimpong is back at right back. Interesting that Andy Robertson goes at left back. Canate and Van Dijk, the centre backs, and Alisson will be the goalkeeper. Liverpool have come up trumped in each of their last 14 home games in UEFA competitions, both across the Champions League and Europa League, while incredibly scoring 2 or more goals in the most recent 13 of those contests. So Liverpool going well at home. As for Atletico Madrid, they're competing in the Champions League for a 13th straight season. They can take confidence from the fact they've scored in 15 of their last 16 league and group games, as well as suffering just defeat in 2 of their last 15 match week 1 fixtures in the competition. Bayern Munich versus Chelsea, another mouth-watering contest this evening in the Champions League. Chelsea go with Sancho in goal. It's Gusto at right back. Tosin, Chalobah, Cucurella make up the back four. We're going to see a midfield three for Chelsea this evening, a 4-3-3. Fernandes, Caicedo, and we think Reece James will play in the midfield three. It's Palmer, it's Neto, it's João Pedro that is the front three. I think for Bayern Munich, they'll wait for another slice of European glory. They'll say it's gone on for arguably way too long, having failed to conquer the continent since beating PSG behind closed doors in 2020, suffering 4 quarter-final exits and 1 semi-final elimination in the past 5 years. Chelsea making their return to the big time following a 2-year exile from the competition. Those games are 8 o'clock, as is PSG, of course, the defending champions. They entertain Atalanta, and it is also Ajax versus Inter Milan. And also there's one game as well, we should say, in the Carabao Cup this evening after losing Nottingham Forest against Arsenal on Saturday. And Postecoglou was asked, when are we going to see the best from your team? He said, not in months, not in weeks, Wednesday night. Well, that is tonight. They go to Swansea in the Carabao Cup third round. Postecoglou getting ready for a second game in charge. Swansea have proven to be a tough team to beat in the opening stages of the season, having put together a 6-game unbeaten run in all competitions since losing to Middlesbrough in the opening day of the season. But let's talk the Champions League. Let's talk Liverpool. Ryan Bromelo, Alexander Isak is possibly just an hour away, 2 hours away from scoring a goal for Liverpool Football Club. It's been a long way, hasn't it? But tonight's the night. Isak, Liverpool, Anfield, Champions League nights. Let's go.
Well, I think that's why he engineered the move, really, isn't it? You know, these are the type of fixtures.
Newcastle have got Champions League football as well this season. You know, they got
Barcelona tomorrow.
They got big nights at St James's Park.
I get you. I get the broader point, but there is a genuine shout that Liverpool could go for both this year. They could go for the Champions League, they go for the Premier League, and you know, I think Newcastle are a great side and they've got real quality, but they haven't proved it in the latter stages of the Champions League. It's as simple as that. And Liverpool have got real pedigree in this competition. So, you know, for me, he will be eyeing an opportunity, I think, for him to have a really emphatic role in this Liverpool side in trying to guide them to number 7. I think it's interesting that he starts tonight. You know, I didn't know if he'd be an option off the bench. There was certainly some conversation about that. I sort of could see that, you know, from all the training videos that we see, he's very sharp. He's alive, he's onto it, he seems to be connected with his new teammates quite well. But if there is any rustiness to his game, which you've got to expect a little bit because of the fitness, regardless of the price tag, I mean, you can shelve that for a second, he's going to have to get up to speed over the next couple of weeks. If that is the case, then it does make sense to have an Ekitike off the bench, so towards the latter part of the game, which, you know, I anticipate this could be quite a difficult affair. I think Burnley could be the perfect precursor for this type of game where they put plenty of men behind the ball, and it could be a throwback to the sort of Simeone football that we used to know and love. I just won't love it tonight.
Love?
Well, love in the sense of, like, it's just
probably love it when it's not against your team, right?
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? You know, it's like Luis Suarez. You love the player, but if he's not playing for your team, then you have a completely different opinion.
Well, Stockley, Atletico Madrid are a team that have got under Liverpool skin, right? Remember just the game just before lockdown, where knocked them out, and I think that was probably the most dominant team that I've seen in the modern era. Where that it looked like Liverpool going for the league and the Champions League, and Simeone did a job on Jurgen Klopp. I've heard Jurgen Klopp come out and criticise Atletico Madrid and ask, why do you play like that? I think this is one of those nights. I think without Julian Alvarez, I think Atletico Madrid will come to frustrate Liverpool, and the onus will be on Liverpool. We've got the better players and one of the most expensive squads in the world right now to come and play football and to come to break them down. And I think it's going to be a difficult evening. The one thing I want to ask you though is, are you surprised with Isak, it's gone from not being in the squad at all on the weekend to being in the starting 11? I think maybe on the weekend, if I see him on the bench against Burnley,
it felt more natural for him to come off the bench this evening, play half an hour this evening, then maybe play an hour on Saturday, yeah. But
in your opinion, Ryan, why do you think he's gone with that approach rather than bringing him off the bench and blooding him in slowly? He's kind of started him from the off.
I think he is blooding him in slowly. I just think he wants him to play, more significant minutes rather than doing this sort of 5 minutes. Slot's spoken about this actually in his presser. 5-10 minute chunks you could do if you were putting him in against Burnley, against Atletico tonight and Everton on Saturday. Let's not forget that's a 12:30 lunchtime kickoff. So the turnaround time isn't brilliant from a Liverpool perspective. So I think he could do that from a 5 to 10 minute point of view. I just think he wants to give him some significant minutes. I think he will play 45 tonight, and Atletico will come on in the second half. That's my general view on it. And also, this is what a night to introduce him as well against a side that, as we've just spoken about, they've got that physicality, they've got that resilience. Albeit this season they are struggling. They need to build some confidence. I wouldn't be surprised if they do set up like that because I think they've won one. They've lost. They've won one. They've lost one, and they've drawn two. They're 11th in La Liga, so there isn't a sense from them that they're up to full speed. I've just been listening to a few podcasts as well on them this week, and there's a
good preparation that from you, Ryan.
Well, there you go.
Quakey was preparing in the exact same way earlier.
I've been on the blow with Kevin Hatchard finding about.
I can't believe Kevin didn't get the nod for this evening. By the way, he's absolutely fuming.
I feel a bit lonely over there, don't you, Sam?
I know, Wesley. I can't believe Lee Phelps. By the way, Willie. Well, I can't believe you haven't sorted someone down for the Champions League, guys. Bang out of order, Phelpsy.
Big night though.
Too busy on the golf course, isn't he? Ryan, Liverpool played 4 games and have won 4 games, which sounds really, really nice. The only team in the Premier League to have achieved that this season. In terms of the performances, we know it hasn't been great. It's been hard work. They've been late winners. Is that okay? Fine. It's the sign of a good team winning when not playing well, or looking a little bit more long term. Are you a bit concerned with the quality of performances?
Not concerned in the slightest, mate. I'm really not. I think because you can apply context to all 4 of those games.
Apply some context for me, please.
Well, let's look at Bournemouth. Bournemouth first game of the season. Look at where they are in the Premier League. They're 4th. Great physicality to the side. Real energy about them. I've felt they're coached by a brilliant manager. He's probably going to be top of many people's lists if there is a departure in a managerial sense of any club. So I think there's real physicality in the way that they play. Liverpool were matched sort of man for man that night at Anfield. They still got over the line. They started off really well in that game. 60 minutes to 2-0 up. Yes, they then leaked goals as they're trying to sort of adjust to sort of their new teammates, but they've still found a way of getting over the line. Newcastle away on a Monday night with all of the emotion that was wrapped up in that game, which is linked to the Alexander Isak saga and the feeling that Newcastle felt that they were being little brothers almost in the transfer window, and the disappointments that they had of a series of players that they wanted to bring in. The sense that game was going to be anything other than just get the job done in any way you can, for me, doesn't, that's what it was.
Newcastle down to 10 men for 45 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that, but I think Liverpool in general against 10 men have never been great. Under Klopp, I've never felt that we've had that. We've actually played better when we've had 10 men. I think back to the game when we played Fulham, where we drew 2-2, but it was a great sign from Slot that he could adapt and he could play a different type of football. I think so. If you look at the context of the Newcastle game, they then play Arsenal at home, and they still managed to get over the line there. Again, not brilliant, but Arsenal haven't conceded any goals this season. Newcastle
might not concede a goal ever again for the rest of the season with the way they're going. They've got the greatest back 8 of all time, haven't they?
The Newcastle have only lost to Liverpool this year. Bournemouth have only lost to Liverpool this year. Arsenal have only lost to Liverpool this year and conceded to Liverpool this year. And then Burnley. I mean, Burnley might be the outlier, and it makes me laugh, Slot's honesty, because he went, well, you could say it's Burnley because it's Burnley, but the sense that Burnley said, that's what he said. But if you look at the way they played, I mean, they sat in their own half for the entirety of the game. I'm not blaming Burnley.
No, I was going to say, and to be fair, Slot, I don't think Slot did go down that route of being like, how embarrassing is this? They're trying to part the bus. No, I think he understood what they were trying to do. It might be frustrating.
Definitely. But also, it was post an international break. So, this idea that Liverpool are going to be...
For them as well, though.
For them as well, but it's Turf Moor. It's a Sunday afternoon. Those games can go badly wrong, and guess what? It didn't. And the top of the Premier League.
Let me ask you then this question, Quaker. You're not a Liverpool fan. You're not an Arsenal fan either.
You're not an Arsenal fan.
You're looking, definitely not an Arsenal fan or a Spurs fan. You're looking in on the title race this season in the very, very early stages. I think most people had Liverpool as favourites. Yeah. Has there been anything you've seen in these first 4 Liverpool games that maybe make you think that it won't be as plain sailing for Liverpool? Should Liverpool fans be worried, whereas Ryan's obviously not?
No, shouldn't be worried at all. But I think
worried, but maybe it's not going to be as clear as what we maybe think.
And I had Liverpool down to win the league as well, and I remember me and you going to back and forth, because at the back end of last season when we did the goal show, I said that going into this new season without seeing any signings, Arsenal would be my favourites, and Ryan was absolutely apoplectic. He was like, why? We're the defending champions. We've got this player, that player, that player. And off the back of your transfer window, I reassessed my opinion and I said, yeah, Liverpool should be favourites. But with that comes expectation, right? And not just in terms of the results, but the way you perform. And I think for me as a neutral, watching Liverpool this season has been impressive in terms of getting over the line. But we cannot deny the performances haven't been there. But to say you're on 12 points after 4 games, having not performed well, I think, in all 4 of those games, is testament to the result that you've got, testament to the winning mentality that you've got, and can only make you as a Liverpool fan feel really confident, because you're not going to play like this all season. It's going to get to a point where it clicks, you can play well, you're going to blow teams out of the water. And if after 4 games where you haven't played that well, players are assimilating, you spent loads of money, loads of expectation, you're top of the league, I think you deserve a lot of credit.
In terms of that money thing, I was watching Arne Slott's press conference yesterday, and I love the way he speaks, by the way. I think he's a really open and honest manager, and I think it's really, really refreshing. I like how he just says how he thinks. And he was asked a couple of times about the amount of money that's being spent, and I got the impression he didn't like the fact that, because on a couple of times he obviously referenced talkSPORT, didn't even listen to too much talkSPORT, but he was quite clear on a couple of times to talk about the money that's been sold, the money you get from winning the league and stuff like that. Do you know, in terms of Quakey, when you look at Liverpool, do you almost be like, I mean, how can you spend that amount of money? Or do you think, hey, hang on a minute, you went 2 windows without spending any money, you've sold lots of players, you can do whatever you want to do, and obviously you're clearly within PSR restrictions.
Oh, man, I love the ambition. I think this is an opportunity, right? And we look at the Premier League and the dynamics of the Premier League, and it's quite apt to talking on the Champions League night, because in terms of English teams, this has been Liverpool's competition. 6 Champions Leagues, double the amount that Manchester United have got, who ostensibly are considered the biggest team in the country. I think Liverpool view this as an opportunity to become the biggest team in the country.
And do you think, given the exit last season, that's even more, because last year felt harsh on Liverpool, given the fact that Liverpool won the league phase over 8 games and got that stinking draw, knocked out on pens. And I think Slot said in his press conference yesterday that Enrique said to him, whoever wins this game is going to go on and win the Champions League. And obviously the rest is history.
Well, more than anything, I think obviously Liverpool have won the same amount of league titles as Manchester United, but I really do feel it's nights like this, under the lights, the Champions League or the European Cup previously, it's Liverpool's competition. And so when you do face an early exit like you did last season, I think there's always a sense of, we need to come back from this. Jurgen Klopp might have only won 1, but he got to 3 finals. Liverpool's heritage is Champions League. And so Arne Slot will be acutely aware that, of course, he won a league title last year, and that put you in the same amount as Manchester United, but the Champions League is Liverpool's bread and butter. Come to Anfield late in the season, under the lights, is what the Liverpool aura is built on.
I mean,
and I think
late in the season, though, it gets dark later, doesn't it?
No, time savings or daylight savings. And so I love the way that Arne Slot's approached it, and we're watching it on screens right now. He's talking to Rafa Benitez. Imagine won the Champions League at Liverpool, and you become immortalised, right? And you know this more than anyone. You win that competition, and you become an absolute legend. They hold banners of you in the COP, and I think Arne Slot knows that. And I think this season, if you were to ask him genuinely, what competition would you rather win, the Premier League or Champions League? I think he'll tell you Champions League all day long.
Yeah, that's fair, Ryan, isn't it? I mean, because last year it did feel brutal, didn't it? The exit.
It feels to me that he wants to win everything. I don't think I get the logic, and I think he takes the Van Dijk arguments on this, that he wants to win everything. He's not a manager to me.
But the squad that's being built is a team to win everything, isn't it? Not pick one and rest
absolutely. This is Liverpool's 50th European campaign of their history. I mean, they are a club that ultimately have been built and bred in Europe, and that's where they've made their name. They've been a cup. They were in many ways, other than that 2 years where we stormed the league and they were so emphatic with the points totals that they were getting in the league. They were built as a cup side, really. Liverpool. They've got the qualities to work really well in a competition like this, and I think Slot sort of changed that ever so slightly, calmed them down. He got that balance right with the risk and reward far more than Klopp did. And I just think, from my perspective, he's unfazed by the spend. I actually would go as far as to say, if Liverpool finished second this year and didn't win the Champions League, he'd still be unfazed by it, because he's not looking at this over the course of this year. He's looking at it over the course of 6 seasons. He even turned round and said at the start of the process this year, he said, I'm surprised that we've got 12 points from the teams that we've played. He's almost expecting that we're going to take more time to adjust than we did last season, because the team was already perfectly formed. And this time around, you've got 4 or 5 new faces in the front line. You've had Szoboszlai playing at right back. The midfield is still gelling together. So, I get the logic of it, and I can see your face already looking at me, scrunching at me. This
is my issue, right? And again, I really like Liverpool's ambition in terms of going for it and really trying to assert the dominance in the Premier League. But I'm not with the notion that finishing second and not winning the Champions League will be considered anything apart from a failure. That's an absolute failure, because if you put the shoe on the other foot, and you said Man City were off the back of storming the league title, and they go and spend the money Liverpool have done and gone and brought in the players of the calibre that Liverpool have done, you'd say they have to win the league.
I'm really surprised. I am really surprised you've said that.
I totally agree with you in the sense of they would see this season as a failing if that was the case. Yeah. But he wouldn't think, they miscalculated on the signings. He wouldn't think, we bought in the wrong people like Alexander Isak or Florian Wirtz.
But if I said to you right now, Liverpool aren't going to win a trophy this season, you would say that's failure.
Well, it would be disappointing, yeah.
Yeah, but
it would be disappointing.
No, failure. No, not just failure.
It would be disappointing. It would be disappointing.
Failure.
I mean, on the road to failure. On the road to failure.
No, but not like in terms of grand total.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In terms of an isolated season, off the back of the season you had last year, not winning the trophy this season, it should be considered failure, because I think for Liverpool, fairly as well, in the 2020, 2021, 2022 era, where you won the league title and you won the Champions League in 2019, I think fairly, people assessed Liverpool, said, of course you're going to win more titles, more money, more spend. Liverpool did as good as they can. They got 97 points and then win the league title. That wasn't failure. But off the back of winning the title and being league champions, being the clear favourites,
I think being the best team in the league, winning the league by as many points as Liverpool did, going on and having the summer that Liverpool have had, so they're not winning a trophy.
You can't ignore. I was listening to Danny Murphy earlier, and I thought he'd caught it excellently. Liverpool have lost Trent, who was one of their biggest contributors in terms of opportunities and assists and goals last year. Diaz, who was played as a centre forward on that left hand side, again critical to the way we played. The sad news around Jota and his departure from the club. So, if you think about Liverpool, they've lost some significant components in that side.
Is there any part of you that is worried of how many new players are coming?
No, not at all. Not at all, because I think, ultimately, by the way, I don't think we will not win anything this year.
Yeah, no,
I'm convinced that we will win something, but the idea that because we've spent quite a significant chunk in this summer should inflame or amplify the expectations on Liverpool more than an Arsenal doesn't sit right with me, because ultimately, if you look at last season, for instance, Arsenal's net spend was around 250. This season's around 250. So, of course, across the course of the 2 years, Liverpool have just matched the spends of other clubs. They've just done it in a very significant period because they've done significant surgery around the squad this summer. So it's just in a condensed time frame rather than a sort of over the course of a couple of years.
I understand that. I do understand that, but I think the expectations on Liverpool and Arsenal are very, very different this season. I think that Liverpool...
What's the expectation of Arsenal?
Why?
Because Liverpool have already won major silverware. This group of players have won major silverware, whether it's the Champions League or the league title a couple of times. This is a team that are trying to defend their title, whereas Arsenal are trying to do something that none of these players have done. None of these Arsenal players have won anything of significance. Mo Salah's won multiple league titles. Virgil van Dijk's won multiple league titles. They've been in 3 Champions League finals. They've won a Champions League. Like, these players have been there and done that and considered the best players in the world. Arsenal's players are on the come up, and again, Arsenal do have to win something, but I think the expectation for Liverpool and Arsenal are very different.
They bought 2 27-year-olds in Eze and Gyökeres. They're both players. I mean, if you look at Liverpool...
What's Eze won, apart from the FA Cup last season?
If you look at Liverpool's age profile, who they brought in 21, 22-year-olds, and Arsenal have brought people in at their peak age. So this idea that, it's still a team that are on the cusp or on the
expectation on Arsenal.
The expectations is significant as Liverpool.
The expectation on Arsenal,
of course.
Mikel Arteta, and I've been one of Mikel Arteta's biggest fans, and I've, in the last sort of year, 18 months, when some people have started to doubt him and say move on, I've been absolutely back this guy. Over the last 6 to 7 years, he's improved them. We know the season before last, he had 2 seasons where they came super, super close to win the league, right? Last season, close to win the Champions League. They then have a summer where it pretty much feels like, to me anyway, they've ticked all the boxes.
Perfect.
They needed that. Okay, so they've had the perfect summer. They looking for that first Premier League. The perfect summer, your words, not my words. Yeah. Why then is the expectation not the same on Arsenal to finish the season nowhere else other than first?
Because Liverpool.
I did my prep properly today, so I've been all over this. Stuck on the underground for an hour.
So how many points clear were Liverpool of Arsenal last season?
10-ish, something like that.
And we talk about Arsenal having the perfect summer. This Liverpool summer is the greatest transfer window we've seen. This is the greatest single transfer window we have ever seen from British.
I'm not saying it's
only
be
matched
easy
by Real Madrid in 2009 signing Cristiano Ronaldo, Kaká, Benzema and Xabi Alonso. This is unprecedented in terms of the amount of talent you brought in one single summer.
But I'm not saying that if Arsenal come second on 96 points, Liverpool win on 98 points, you then sack Mikel Arteta. No. I'm not saying it's a win or bust. But I'm saying Arsenal, as they approach the season, as they go through the first few weeks, when Mikel Arteta sits and looks at what he's got at his disposal, which is pretty much 2 11s now, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not up against a good team. He's up against a behemoth of a team. And if I had to put my final penny on who wins the league, I still go Liverpool, and I expect Liverpool to win it. But I'm surprised at a man who on this show talks a lot about mentality and that will to win. You're sitting here saying from an Arsenal point of view, the expectations finish second, it's fine, because Liverpool signed Isak.
No,
that's a weak mentality.
So from my,
and I think if an Arsenal fan was sat there, Luke Henry was sat there looking at you in mid-September saying, I think I would have thought you'd be hammering him.
Of course, we've got 2 giants right now challenging for the title in terms of Liverpool and Arsenal, right? Liverpool, of course, went out early in Champions League last year, but we don't expect that to happen this year, especially to be in the latter rounds of that competition. Arsenal got all the way to the semi-finals. They turned over Real Madrid, the defending champions, in the round before.
Because they're a really good team.
Because they're a very, very good team.
We should be expecting to win majors.
They've never got over the line. They've never got over the line. Arsenal finished 3rd for the last 3 seasons. Liverpool, second for the last 3 seasons. Liverpool, this core of Liverpool team, have shown us they can get over the line. No one had them win the league last season, right? And I can admit that. Going for seasons like they didn't sign anybody, they're not going to... And then they showed that Van Dijk is still... In my opinion, I'll say it right now, Van Dijk's the greatest centre back the Premier League's ever seen.
I'm with you on that one.
Ahead of John Terry, ahead of Rio Ferdinand. He's just
And that's the Chelsea fan saying that.
And I love JT, I love Rio. Van Dijk is just that guy. And anyone denying it, I think is lying to themselves. Mo Salah has an argument for being the greatest player the Premier League has ever seen. He's in the conversation with Thierry Henry.
We'll have a look. We'll definitely have a look.
Alisson is one of the greatest goalkeepers the Premier League has ever seen. And so just in those equivalent positions, Raya's great. He's not Alisson. Saliba's great. He's not Van Dijk. Gabriel's great. He's not Van Dijk. Saka's great. He's not Salah. In every single position, in terms of the upper echelons in those positions, you've got better players, or Liverpool got better players. So I think I'm fully within my rights to say that
I don't think
Liverpool
an Arsenal fan would agree with that.
Would an Arsenal fan sit here and tell you that Saka's better than Salah? They wouldn't. No Arsenal fan in their right mind would. No Arsenal fan in their right mind would say...
Better view.
Yeah, that's the indictment.
No, but I suppose if you look at the left-hand side, potentially, there's a conversation around Gakpo.
And also, as much as I love Van Dijk and Alisson, there's an argument that Arsenal's back 5 is possibly, as a unit, is possibly stronger than Liverpool's. Yes. If I say to you right now, right, who concedes less goals this season, Arsenal, Liverpool. I agree.
But I just think that's their general mindset, though. And then you move that's their general approach and mindset.
Yeah. Sure, and then possibly that's something that Mikel Arteta is at times this season going to have to look to adapt and adjust to win more games and draw more games.
Well, I think we all saw it, and again, this is where I was the most disappointed of Arsenal. We saw it in the game at Anfield, right? It was a 50-50 game. But Arsenal decided to go a Stonehenge of a midfield of Marino, of Declan Rice, and of Zubimendi. Unfortunately, when you've got Eze and Odegaard sitting on the bench, you're not going to Anfield to try and win a game. And everyone could talk about Arsenal being this team that have got an incredible, impeccable record against the top 6 sides. When's the last time they won at Anfield? 2012. When's the last time they won at Etihad? 2015. So yes, we can talk about the promise and how good this Arsenal team is, but we're looking at a Liverpool team that have actually done it. So when I've seen someone actually do it, I expect a lot more. And for Arsenal, if they do it, it'll be lovely, it'll be nice. But since 2017, Sam, only 2 teams have won the Premier League: Man City and Liverpool. The last manager to win a league title that wasn't Liverpool or Arsenal or Liverpool or Man City manager was Antonio Conte. We're living in a different world right now. So for me to say that I expect Arsenal to win the league over Liverpool, I think is nonsense.
I didn't even say expect you to.
Insane.
Yeah, but I didn't say expect. It was more. What was the phrase you used? Arsenal shouldn't be. How did you phrase it? Arsenal shouldn't be aiming to win the league this season. I expect Liverpool to win it. I think all 3 of us sitting here right now are going to say we predict Liverpool to win it, but I expect Arsenal to have the expectation themselves and the belief themselves and the aim themselves. The aim's won. Yeah. The aim's not 2 and come close and we'll be happy because Liverpool are really good. Arsenal have been building and building and building, and I love this Arsenal team that's been built. I love Arteta as a coach. I think he's an outstanding coach. Yeah. Let's not forget as well, they've spent big money as well this summer. So therefore, the expectation for Arsenal has to be to finish first and not second.
What happens if they don't? What happens if they don't win the league?
I think we need more context to that question. Do they finish second on 95 points? Liverpool finish on 97 points. Yeah. Then I still believe that Mikel Arteta is the right man to take them forward. So let me ask you this question.
But do you though? If he still can't get over the line?
But he still will.
Still can't get over the line. He's got all of the options available to him.
About Arsenal, still can't get over the line. It's been Liverpool, Man City. Let me ask you this question then. You're so sure it won't be Arsenal this season. What do Arsenal need to do for it to be them then?
See,
sack the manager.
So it's
okay, that's one thing.
Exactly.
Ultimately,
let it breathe. And this is don't get it twisted. I don't want my position to be misrepresented on this show.
We never do that to you.
I think based on the first 4 league games, and based on Arsenal's first game in the Champions League, this is going to be a very, very tight title race, right? We're talking about Arsenal not conceding goals. That performance, what?
But like, I feel like already then you've just spent the last 10, 15 minutes saying, oh no, it can't be Arsenal. It won't be Arsenal. It shouldn't be their expectation. And then you've now literally just stated it's going to be really...
But they'll run them close.
And I agree with you.
They'll run them close.
Arsenal's got to have that aim towards the end of the season that we have to win the league.
My big issue, right? And this is probably the crux of it. And this is this is like a therapy session. Now we're getting down to what really bothers me. What really bothers me is that...
Should have gone to Redwood for a therapy session.
We've used... what's Redwood? I don't know what that is. A therapist?
Showing the football in there tonight.
What really bothers me with Liverpool is that we've used kid gloves with them for the best part of a decade, right?
Have we?
Best part of a decade in terms of...
Who's been using kid gloves?
The media, the narrative is, okay, we understand why Liverpool haven't won league titles because they've come up against an incredible City side, got to 97 points and didn't win the league. It's impossible to come over or overcome this behemoth. Cool, I understand that. I kind of even agree with that to an extent. But right now, you are that behemoth. And when City didn't win a league in those years, it was a disappointment. They were expected to. And off the back of a transfer window like this, oh my goodness, I don't think I'm in the wrong to saying that Liverpool should expect to win the league over Arsenal. Spent more money, got better players, are the defending champions, have never defended the Premier League title. I think the pressure is on Liverpool because they've got an opportunity right now.
There's pressure on Arsenal, Quaker. There is pressure on Arsenal. There's always pressure on a team that's going for the title. But for Liverpool, it will be an absolute disappointment if they don't walk away with the league title. You'd say disaster there, weren't you? But you went back to disappointment.
I'll use it. It'll be a disaster. They've signed a striker who I don't think is the best striker in the world.
What will it be if Arsenal don't win the league? How would you assess that?
Half of the course.
Oh, get out of it.
Half of the course. Where did Arsenal finish last season?
Nonsense.
Where did Arsenal finish the season
part
before?
of the course.
Where did Arsenal finish the season before
they
that?
spent all that money in the summer for part of the course, have they?
Okay. You spent all that money to finish where?
Get out of it. Talking nonsense. Nonsense.
I do.
Claptrap.
Half of the course. They have spent. How much have they spent in the summer, Quakers?
Would you be shocked if Arsenal finished second?
I wouldn't be shocked.
Would you be shocked if Arsenal finished second?
Well, I think
I'd be shocked if Arsenal won the league.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if Arsenal won the league. I would be. I think most people would be because we haven't seen it since 2004. How old are you in 2004?
But everyone says that they've got the most depth.
How old are you in 2004, Ryan?
How old do you reckon I was?
We've done this before. It didn't go down
and
well,
you know the answer this time, so don't offend me like you did last time. 9. No, I was 6.
Okay. Well, let's not.
You're younger than me.
Yeah, 6.
6. That's a lifetime ago. Arsenal have not won. We have no kind of.
So therefore, does that mean then, Quaker, that they don't? But they
never won the Champions League.
Yeah, but they've still got that.
How old were you in 1901? I mean, like you know, that argument.
And when it comes to Champions League nights, I don't sit here ever expecting Arsenal to win the Champions League. I sit here every year, the Liverpool win it, saying Liverpool should be the favourites.
But why? Because if you look at last year, arguably they beat Real Madrid home and away. He battered them at home, and then he taught them a lesson at the Bernabeu, which, to be honest with you, I've never really seen a side do that. I don't know what the record for Spanish and England sides were, but at the time it was pretty bleak, and they've adjusted that ever so slightly. And then against PSG, I mean, my general view of it was that they lost both games. But there was this general feeling that they played really well against PSG, and if they had somebody up top, that they would have got the job done against them and got into the finals. So this idea that they shouldn't be in that conversation or they shouldn't have the same level of expectation as a Liverpool, despite the spending of this summer, is nonsense.
Right. I don't understand how you can't get on my page with this. For the last 5 years, right? Mikel Arteta's done a great job. They've won one trophy. They've won the main trophies of Crystal Palace. Like, if we're talking about getting over the line and winning silverware, we have got
That's why the expectation has grown and grown.
For sure. But then my expectation for Liverpool changed after 2019 and 2020 when that group of players won the Champions League and won the Premier League. All of a sudden, I'm expecting them to win trophies year in and year out. Arsenal haven't won anything for me to say I expect them to win.
But
this has been fun, but I think we are going to have to maybe just. There was me walking in this evening. We have a nice sort of fun Champions League laid back show. As you guys are going at it, by the way, I'm watching EastEnders up there. I can't believe Denise and Jack are still together. I swear, when I watched EastEnders 15 years ago, Denise and Jack were kissing outside that exact same.
Well, let's not ruin it, please, because all I normally do is stack up my episodes for the family.
Well, Denise and Jack are still together, pal.
Well, they are. Yeah, there was a big twist in April.
There we go. Anyway, I know. Should be Coronation Street, shouldn't you? Talk EastEnders then, back in a couple of minutes' time. This is talkSPORT Goals brought to you by William Hill. The William Hill Epic Boost tonight is Mo Salah to have a shot on target. That's now at evens, boosted from 2 to 7, and Impact Sub applies, and it does for all tonight's Champions League games and also the Carabao Cup tie between Swansea and Nottingham Forest. It's 18 plus. Gamble aware, dog. Go and get yourselves a cup of tea. talkSPORT Goals is back in a couple of minutes' time. We love the Champions League, don't we? Welcome back to talkSPORT Goals, brought to you by William Hill. If you're doing an accumulator tonight, remember, ACCA Boost is available on ACCAs of 4 or more picks, 18 plus, gambleaware.org. It's Sam Ellard, Kwaku Afari and Ryan Bromelo with you until 10 o'clock this evening, taking you through on what is going to be a busy and fun evening of Champions League football. 2 games approaching the end in the early games. Olympiacos Paphos is still goalless. Slavia Prague 2, Bodo Glimt 2. We got 4 games at 8 o'clock. Ajax Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Liverpool Atletico and PSG versus Atlanta. But let's now, just for the next 10 minutes or so, just turn our attention to a story involving Wolverhampton Wanderers and the Premier League, because Wolves have had a tricky start to the season. When Vitor Pereira came in towards the end of the season, they got off to a pretty good start, but then they faded towards the end and they've had a bad start to this season. They've played 4 and have lost all of their games. But Vitor Pereira is close to agreeing a new 3-year contract at Wolves. Understood it could be formalised before the weekend. His win percentage last season was the best of any Wolves head coach in the Premier League era, with an average of around 1.5 points per game. After several managerial changes in recent years, Wolves' priority is to build stability with a coach. Kwaku, what are your thoughts on that?
It's an interesting time to make a decision when your team's rooted to the bottom of the table, and I think it's difficult, right? If this was a season akin to the last 2 seasons where the 3 promoted teams just looked from the off like the 3 teams to go down, I could understand it because you're like, we have a good idea that we're going to stay up. But right now, when you look at the likes of Sunderland, look how good Burnley played against Liverpool on the weekend, and you just think to yourself, even Leeds to an extent. I know they got off to a decent start and struggled subsequent to that, but this is not a given that Wolves stay in the division. And to give a man a new contract when he's on 0 points, I don't know if it's ever happened before, right? Lost their first 4 games, and their next 4 games are quite telling, right? They've got Leeds, they've got Spurs, they've got Brighton, they've got Sunderland. You look at those games, you say, in terms of context of the Premier League, where it is such a difficult league this year, they're 4 decent games to kind of try and get yourself going. You've got to beat Leeds. You've got to beat Leeds.
Feels must win, doesn't it?
And you've got to beat Sunderland. Where Spurs and Brighton, it's kind of, you're not too sure.
But then you think, they've lost 4, played 4. If they then don't go well in those games, and they're arguably on 7-8 games with not too many points, and you've just given the new manager a new contract, I'm kind of all for the optimism. I always believe managers deserve more time than what they're given. But it does feel like strange timing, Ryan, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I think it's a great message to the players that, that
he's our man.
He's our man, and I know it's a rocky time at the moment, but we are trying to build that stability. And then there's also an argument of, how much is a contract worth nowadays? What's is it worth the paper it's written on? It depends on what compensation clauses. And I know at the moment, from what I can see of the source anyway, that he's set to sign. So it depends on what's drawn up by way of if he was to leave quite immediately after re-signing for Wolves, what that compensation package would look like. But I think, in some ways it's quite refreshing that you would back a manager at a time where he's not doing quite well, because you recognise last season, there was a dramatic turnaround in results when he came in, and he really took that team on from, a team that were destined for the Championship last year, and made them very steady Premier League finishes in the end in the bottom half of the table. So, there's definitely a logic to the decision, and he's also got the best win rate of any Wolves manager in the Premier League, 1.5 points per game. So, there's definitely a logic to that. But the point that definitely should not get glossed over is the idea that the promoted teams are not going to give more of a fight this year. And I think
that's pretty clear, isn't it?
Sunderland, I watched them at Palace on the weekend, and there was something about them that felt very different. Well, then when teams that have come up,
it's very early in the season to make these kind of predictions, Quaker. When you look at what you've seen so far, you look at Wolves' squad and the promoted teams. Obviously, got to throw in teams like West Ham and Brentford. Where do you see Wolves at? Do you think they are one of the 3 weakest sides in the league?
Severely diminished. Lost Cunha, lost Semedo, lost Aït-Nouri. And so you look at it before the season. If you were to pick a team outside of the promoted teams to go down, you maybe look at Wolves. What Vitor Pereira did really well, not only was it the on-field performances, talking about his win ratio as Wolves manager, but it was off the pitch as well. The feeling that he garnered around
drinking in the local pub, that sort of stuff helps, doesn't it?
And it was like obviously a very different way to the way Bielsa did it. But do you know how Bielsa kind of gone that feeling around Leeds?
It's important, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very important.
To make the fan think of one of them, to become part of the football club.
Where fans feel like the ownership group are checked out. Not just this season. We think last season when they sold Pedro Neto, they sold Max Kilman, their captain, and not really replaced them with adequate replacements. It's important that you feel like the manager is really on side, and that's what you've got in Vitor Pereira. And I've been very impressed with him. He's a manager that's talked in the press about how he's been eyeing up the Premier League for a long, long time. So he was very prepared when he came to the league. And I think he's done a fantastic job. I just think the timing's odd, right? Because we don't know the stipulations of the contract at Wolves if he does sign this new contract. But I'm assuming that if he's sacked, he's paid the compensation. And you think for a team like Wolves that have been kind of penny pinching for the last couple of seasons in the transfer window, paying a manager off that's currently bottom of the Premier League table doesn't seem like smart business. Maybe wait another 3 or 4 games and then go from there.
Yeah, his career also is fascinating. I mean, since 2004, he's managed 16 different teams so that's pretty much in 20 odd years. He's doing not too far off a different team every season, give or take. And that's one of the another bad prediction of mine. I actually had him as first manager to be sacked this season. Another good one for me, isn't it?
It can still happen, Sam.
Well, he's not the first, is he? Who's been sacked? Well, someone's been sacked, haven't they, in the Premier League?
No, not.
Yeah, Nuno went, didn't he?
Oh, Nuno.
So Nuno's been sacked. So he wasn't the first, and he's been given a new contract. But that was one of the reasons why I thought that when it's good, it's good. But I thought maybe when the going gets tough, my guess was, looking at how many different clubs he's been at, some of the bits that I read about him before he came in, my prediction was he may be a bit of a combustible character and things can turn sour quite quickly. Shows what I know about football, right?
No, but I don't think it was unfair for you to make that observation. If you look at Wolves, look at the way they're trending in terms of, especially towards the end of the window where you're hearing that Strand Larsen's linked with a move away. You're just thinking it doesn't look like a team or an ownership group. They're interested in reinvesting in the squad and trying to maintain their level as a decent Premier League team. And so I don't think you're unfair in that prediction. But I do think it's important that fans ultimately, I think in football, fans ultimately get you the sack.
Yeah.
If fans turn on you, you don't. Really
that's possibly something that's off topic slightly, but really saving Ruben Amorim. It's the fact that they might be doing terribly, but the match-going United fans, you heard the United fans on the weekend chanting his name away at Man City. Some might say maybe it's not wise to do that, but they are backing him. Is this refreshing, Ryan? That we're 4 games into a season, a team have lost 4, no points, it's not looking good, and instead of just the usual sack the manager, bring somebody else in, is it refreshing? Is it nice to see a team doing things a little bit different, saying we're going to back you, we're going to stick with you?
Yeah, it absolutely is. Definitely refreshing. It can't not be. You know, they are wanting to build stability. You know, the sense that the managers nowadays in the Premier League have any time at all. They're always having to chase results, and naturally so because of the need for that to happen. You know, for wherever they are in the league and their own ambitions and their own expectations. I think it's massively refreshing. I just think, you know, from a Wolves perspective, if he does have a horrific run now between now and December, it's a massive decision to make.
Not even December. December feels a long way away.
No, but
December's 3 months away.
I've used December as a benchmark because we've seen teams come back from it before. We've seen and Wolves.
But I bet the stats.
Example
Yeah, sure. But I bet the stats do tell you that more often than not, if you're in the bottom 3, come then you're in trouble.
Yeah, but I think so. The magic point marker to staying up is I think it's 11 points after 10 games, something like that. No team's ever been relegated via 11 points after 10 games. So in the last 10 seasons. So I think that's the magic marker, sort of over the course of recent histoy.
He has been doing his research there, hasn't he?
You know, it just comes with the territory, mate.
Why is everyone having to go to Quaku tonight about his preparation?
I tell you what, someone told me in the Redwood about 6:30 this afternoon, and just getting a little bit of advice from him, baby.
And what I love is everyone's upset at Quaku because they weren't invited themselves, not because he was, not because they weren't invited.
Business meeting, mate.
But you know, I just think the sense of like, you know, the 2 examples I think of is Wolves last year, and then Benitez at Everton. You know, and he had such a horrific run, and then they pulled the trigger. I think it was in December time. So there is space for that, but there's only space depending on what the market or what the sort of the circumstances of the league tell you, and you know, I think they are going to be surprised a little bit by how well the promoted teams could do this year, and it's on the likes of West. You know, I just think it's so unpredictable. For the first time, actually, towards the back, you know, normally relegation is
the last 2 years we've always pretty known it's the bottom 3 of the 3 that come up, right?
And that's what was being so disappointing, really, about the league. So this year, you know, there's conversations. I mean, I don't want to inflame the tension, but West Ham, for instance, you know, there's a sense that they could be in that conversation. Wolves are for me in that conversation. The promoter sides are in that conversation.
Something tells me, though, we're not going to read that Graham Potter's been given a new 3-year contract anytime soon, are we? Vitor Pereira to agree a new 3-year deal at Wolves. They might be bottom of the table. They played 4, lost 4, but Vitor Pereira set to get a new deal. This is talkSPORT Goals. It is brought to you by William Hill. The William Hill epic boost tonight is Mo Salah to have a shot on target. That's now at evens, boosted from 2 to 7. Max bet a tenner, and impact sub applies as it does for all tonight's Champions League games and the Carabao Cup tie between Swansea and Nottingham Forest. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. When we come back then, we'll only be a few minutes away from tonight's football. We got 4 games in the Champions League, and goodness me, 2 of those are big ones. Chelsea, we haven't even spoke about Chelsea yet. Chelsea are in Germany to take on Bayern Munich. Liverpool Atletico. talkSPORT Goals is back in a couple of minutes' time, guys. Yeah, welcome back to talkSPORT Goals, brought to you by William Hill. If you're doing an accumulator tonight, remember an ACCA boost is available on ACCAs of 4 or more picks with William Hill. It's 18 plus, gambleaware.org. We are just 7 or so minutes away then from our 8 o'clock games going in the Champions League. We've spoken in good detail about Liverpool. Let's now speak in good detail about Chelsea. Kwaku, the Chelsea team this evening, I guess the headline team news is that Reece James plays as part of a midfield three. What do you make of that?
It makes sense. Reece James hasn't started the last couple of league games for Chelsea, despite playing extensive minutes for Thomas Tuchel at England in the international break. And I think established himself as England's starting right back, especially with Trent's absence.
And injury now.
And injury as well. But it makes sense because in the last few Chelsea games where he's come off the bench later on, he's come on and played the midfield. And I feel like when you're looking at Reece James in terms of his fitness, in terms of the requirements of a modern fullback, I'm not too sure if Enzo Maresca trusts that he can do that marauding job week in and week out, and so he's using him as a Swiss Army knife, really. A player that can play in a multitude of positions, but it's important that he's in this Chelsea starting 11 because he is our captain and one of our best players. I think the most interesting thing about this Chelsea starting 11 is Cole Palmer's position. I expect him to start off the right-hand side and
off the right, cutting in.
Yeah, and I don't know if I told you guys, but I was at the Club World Cup watching Chelsea win the World Championship and talked to Cole Palmer in Central Park, and he mentioned a part of the interview that I actually had to cut out.
You had to cut it out.
Where did you talk to Cole Palmer?
In Central Park. I don't know if you saw it on social media.
Possibly, yeah.
But Cole Palmer.
How your career is just over the last few weeks.
Nowhere I'd rather be on the Champions League night than with you two guys. But Cole Palmer's favourite position is on the right hand side, cutting in and kind of playing in that half space. And so for Chelsea under Enzo Maresca, he's traditionally played in that number 10 position, but off that right hand side in that half space where he's got a bit more of the pitch in front of him. We can see the pitch, he can get on the ball. That's his best position. I think that's where we're going to see him play tonight against Bayern Munich, and which is a huge game for Chelsea.
Just confirmation then of that Chelsea team. It's Sanchez in goal. It is Gusto at right back with Tosin, Chalobah, Cucurella making up the rest of the back four. James, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez is the midfield three, as Kwaku says. Expecting it to be Cole Palmer there on the right hand side, Pedro Neto coming from the left, and it's going to be João Pedro leading the line. Is one of the big bonuses for Chelsea this season the start of João Pedro leading the line, scoring goals, looking good?
Both the Pedros, João Pedro and Pedro Neto, they've had very good starts this season. João Pedro, I don't think is the man that's going to to break the curse of the Chelsea number 9. He's not going to give you 20, 25 league goals a season. But what he is going to give you is that kind of the ability to affect games in different ways, whether it's dropping deep, whether it's getting on the end of things. He's just very, very talented. And I think the Chelsea, especially in the absence of Cole Palmer over the last couple of weeks, have relied on João Pedro. And if I'm being honest, I didn't expect him to get this many minutes at Chelsea. I thought that he maybe occupied similar spaces to Cole Palmer and he wouldn't play as much football.
I thought Delap would be the number 9.
For sure.
And then I agree with you.
So with Delap's injury and
even before the injury, he did go João Pedro, didn't he?
Well, João Pedro, the way he started the Club World Cup, came off the beach on holiday to come and play for Chelsea the Club World Cup and played a huge role in us winning that competition. I'm really excited about what I see from him. And again, don't kill me with this in the comments down below. And Jamie, the producer's got his clip. He reminds me of Didier Drogba. In terms of his...
João Pedro?
Yes, in terms of the way he plays football. In terms of the way that he brings the ball down off his chest, the way that Drogba was very underrated in terms of his touch. People viewed him as this big bully of a centre forward, but Drogba was very deft in those pockets and also playing off of Frank Lampard. Cole Palmer can be the Frank Lampard to João Pedro's Didier Drogba. Not saying he's going to end up having the career Didier Drogba had at Chelsea in terms of Champions League and multiple league titles, but just in terms of the way that he plays football, the way he uses physicality, the way that he can score goals as well, he's the closest thing that we've had to Didier Drogba in a long, long time. And I think that he'll be a success at Chelsea. And when Cole Palmer's not in the team, he is our most important attacking player.
You were saying to me off air, is it a worry and a concern of how reliant Chelsea are on Cole Palmer? Are you concerned that it's when he's not in the team, how poor Chelsea can be?
I am. And we've had debates on the show, Sam, this season about Chelsea and where their frailties lie. And I've kind of defended our defence. And I don't think our defence is the problem. We conceded 2 more goals in Liverpool, who ran away with the league last year.
Well, the only thing I would say on your defence, I think there's a lack of pace in that back line. Currently, I mean, obviously Colwill is out, isn't he, with a long-term injury, but I felt, I mean, I was at the Brentford game on Saturday, and there was a sense from me that, you know, every time Brentford, they set up in a 5-3-2, and they were trying to hit you on the counter. Henderson, every time he got the ball, was trying to punch it up to either Thiago or Shah there, and they were really capitalising. The first goal comes from that. There was a few chances as well where they were stretching that back line, and so that would be the one thing that I would say, that, you know, that they don't have that recovery, I don't think, as well as maybe other sides in the league. And I think, you know, the Shah goal, for instance, is a great example of that, where they get punished against Brentford.
I think the Brentford front line thinks twice if in our fullback positions it's either Gusto and Cucurella or Richards and Cucurella. That we were missing 2 of our key players. And I think if you look at the league this season, there's not a left back I'll take over Cucurella. If you look at the league this season, there's not many right backs I'll take over Reece James. And those 2 players didn't start against Brentford. But I take your point, because Tosin is not the quickest, and neither is Chalobah, even though I really like Trevor Chalobah. So this is a fair point I take from both of you. But my issue for Chelsea is going forward, and without Cole Palmer, we're a lesser team.
You got the second coming of Didier Drogba, mate.
Yeah, who needs Cole Palmer when you've got Drogba leading the line? Hey, there we go. Jose's coming back to Benfica, back to Stamford Bridge, reunites with Didier Drogba possibly in a couple of weeks' time. Quaker, we love your passion talking about Chelsea. We're going to take one more break, 60 seconds on talkSPORT Goals, and when we come back, we're watching the 8 o'clock games in the Champions League. Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals, brought to you by Final One Standing, new from William Hill, 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply. Deadline for all leagues is Saturday, 12:30. If you've been knocked out, do not worry. Well, be annoyed that you're knocked out, but don't worry because, oh my, you can come straight back in. There's a new 20k game to enter. Tough week of fixtures. We've got the Merseyside derby, United home to Chelsea. Although, is that tough? Some might say go with Chelsea, Final One Standing. Also, Arsenal, Man City this Sunday. Final One Standing, deadline for all leagues, 12:30. Get involved. It's plenty of fun and something a little bit different when it comes to football. It's Sam Ellard, it's Quakey Wafari, it's Ryan Bromelo on talkSPORT Goals this evening, taking you up until 10 o'clock this evening. And it's the Sports Bar with Rory Jennings and Jermaine Pennant tonight, taking your calls on a busy night of football. And the football is a good one this evening. We got 4 cracking games in the Champions League about to get underway. We've got Liverpool against Atletico Madrid. Liverpool topping the standings last season, winning the most games, 7, and most points, 21 of any side. The only defeat came away to PSV with a much-changed team on the final match day. They won all 4 of their league phase matches at Anfield by an aggregate score of 10-1. They also included a 2-0 win over the then reigning champions, Real Madrid. Atletico Madrid, we know they're renowned, right, for their defensive solidarity, maybe more so than their attacking excellence under Diego Simeone. They head into tonight's game having kept clean sheets in 42% of their Champions League games with Simeone at the helm. It's the most for any Spanish side to play 50 more games in the competition.
That's
42% of their Champions League games. They don't concede many goals. The big news for Liverpool when it comes to the team, as you've just seen there on your screen, Alexander Isak starts for Liverpool. He leads the line. We've got Bayern Munich versus Chelsea. 5 games support, 5 wins for Vincent Kompany's men, who have already clinched 1 trophy this term in the form of the German Super Cup, and they carried on their perfect start to the Bundesliga campaign, thumping Hamburg 5-0 on Saturday. Chelsea making their return to the big time following a 2-year exile from Europe's top table, although, as we know, and I'm sure Quakey will remind you over the next couple of hours, it did not stop them from creating history a few months ago, beating Betis in the Conference League final. They then became the first side to win every single UEFA club competition, having also achieved Champions League, Europa League and Super Cup success under Enzo Maresca's predecessors. They're the English teams then involved. Both games have just got underway. Liverpool 0, Atletico Madrid 0, Bayern Munich 0, Chelsea 0. The other 2 games this evening in Europe are still pretty tasty games. 4-time European champions Ajax kicking off their latest Champions League campaign, welcoming last year's runners-up Inter Milan to Amsterdam. The Dutch Giants are unbeaten this season, while Inter have just lost back-to-back matches. A tricky start for them in the league this season after, of course, getting all the way to the final last year, and also kicking off the defence of their crown. They return to the Champions League when they take on Atalanta, who are in Paris. Of course, last season, PSG finally broke through and lifted the trophy thanks to that spectacular success in the final, winning by 5-0. Atalanta were Europa League winners in 2024. They did reach the Champions League knockout playoffs last season, but did end up losing to Club Brugge. So it's just gone 8 o'clock. Also, by the way, I should say, 2 results: Olympiacos 0, Paphos 0, Slavia Prague 2, Bodo Glimt 2. There 2 results from the early games, and there is also a Carabao Cup game. Half a chance there, Kwaku, for Chelsea. A ball was played in from the right-hand side, and I think Enzo Fernandez made a late run into the box, didn't he? And he had Gusto's ball in. Fernandez made a good run towards the near post, and he just couldn't get something on the end of it. But that's half a chance there for Chelsea at the Allianz Stadium.
Yeah, no, that is. It's been a decent start for Chelsea, and I expect us to be competitive in this game. We're talking about players. They're rumstrating about something. I don't know what they're appealing for. But yes, it's been a positive start. This is a Bayern Munich team that I think for Chelsea, attack will be the best form of defence, because Bayern Munich in the league have scored 14 league goals in 3 games. They are free scoring. Like you mentioned, 5-0 in the last game against Hamburg. I think if Chelsea are going to affect Bayern Munich, it's by making them think about going the other way. Because I think if you're talking about the weakness in this side, it's their defence. And I think Chelsea have got decent enough attackers on this pitch to give them problems. But that's a good chance for Chelsea, and I feel like if we can continue in this vein, try and get on the ball, be brave on the ball, and try and just play our football, there's no reason why we can't make a big effect in this game. Goal at PSG.
But yeah, PSG are the Champions League holders, and it's taken PSG just over 2 minutes to take the lead at home to Atalanta. So the first goal then in our 8 o'clock kickoffs this evening. It is PSG 1, Atalanta 0. More on that in a second. There's a free kick, though, for Liverpool in a dangerous area. I don't know why I thought this, Ryan, but I just immediately thought outside the box on the right-hand side, Trent Alexander-Arnold territory. Of course, we know he's not a Liverpool player. So Mo Salah's over it, as is Florian Wirtz. Salah's been the one to put the ball down on the spot. It's just outside the box on the right-hand side. Salah, deflection, and Liverpool take the lead at home to Atletico Madrid.
We'll take that.
Possibly the two Champions League favourites this season are ahead early on. PSG leading and now Liverpool leading. It's a scruffy goal. Liverpool won't care. Salah's free kick from the right-hand side with his left foot. He tries to go goalkeeper side. It takes a wicked deflection. And I think possibly, Ryan, does it end up coming off Andy Robertson? Wrong footing the goalkeeper, Jan Oblak, and it ends up going in the back of the net. Not the best free kick.
It looks like, I'm just making sure he's onside. He is. He runs into an onside position. It looks like he gets a flick off Robertson, and he follows up a really positive performance against Burnley with the most awkward, strange.
Is that a flick?
I mean, it looks like he's trying
to get out of the way of it. Yeah,
he's trying to get out of the way. He's at the back of his shin, spun off his left calf, and then into the net. But that ultimately, if you're Atletico Madrid and your game plan was to sit deep and heavy and be quite dense by way of your formation, you can do that to an extent because you still got options up top. But I think that then. Yeah, well,
obviously, I'm sure they'll look to kind of carry on with their style of play for the time being. But yeah, of course, it will mean at some point in the game they are going to have to try and take the game to Liverpool.
I mean, it's a nothing free kick. I mean,
it was a bad free kick, wasn't it? Really? The free kick to give away. I didn't see that. What happened?
Nothing free kick. Gravenberch gets fouled on the edge of the area, and then Salah's shot just doesn't really have any pace to it, venom to it. It's got no direction to it. It's a bit of a fortunate goal, but we seem to be getting a lot of those.
Yeah, Mo Salah has scored more goals, 44, and more assists, 17, than any other Liverpool player in the Champions League. He'll take that'll go down as an assist, this one. 18 assists then.
That might be a reason why, should be worried, lads. Again, Liverpool.
Yeah. Also, by the way, just
still find a way.
You know
Ryan.
What? No, you know what?
Find a way.
I love the arrogance, right? But keep the same energy.
Salah's in again! Salah scores!
What were you saying, man?
Mo Salah scores. He didn't score the first one. He scores the second one. It's vintage Salah being played in the box down that right-hand side. And he just opens up the body. And he just fires the ball past the goalkeeper. It's vintage Mo Salah. So he's now scored more goals, 45, and more assists, 18, than any other Liverpool player in the UEFA Champions League run.
Yeah, I mean, this is more vintage Salah. I know he sets up the first, and he gets a bit of fortune on that, but this is far more vintage Salah. Cutting in off that right side, interchange over on the far flank. Again, involved heavily in the move, sets up with Gravenberch. It's a sort of a hopeful ball through, but he knows what he's doing there, Gravenberch. Jolts it into his path, and then the touch, the finish is sublime. It's an exquisite, by the way, close control in the box, that.
Isak as well. I look at Isak's position. Isak was on for a simple pass and easy finish.
Well, he's going to have to get used to the fact that he's going to have to share some of those goals.
Yeah.
Salah, who's, let's be honest, Salah's been off the boil in the first 4 games. He's not got that sense of... I was a little bit... I mean, he scored... he's been off the boil, right? But he scored the definitive penalty against Burnley, and he scored the 4th goal against Bournemouth. So
Chelsea should score! Oh, they don't score! Sorry to cut across you, right? Chelsea, in the opening 6 minutes, have had 2 moments where they broke down that right-hand side. It's Cole Palmer who carries the ball a long, long way. He's got 3 players making a run into the box. He plays the ball into Enzo Fernandez, Kwaku.
Should score.
And Fernandez, you're out for a player of his quality. The ball gets played into him. His first touch is poor, and Bayern managed to clear. But I think he should do better, Kwaku. The pass from Palmer's perfect.
100%. And this is an Enzo Fernandez who's adapted his game since coming to Chelsea. I think when we first signed him, we thought he was going to be a tempo setter, maybe that Jorginho replacement, the man to get his foot on the ball in midfield and control and dictate the pace of the game for Chelsea. In the last 6 months, he's become a box crasher and a man that gets you goals and assists. So that should be his bread and butter. And through on goal like that, after Cole Palmer finds you in the box, Enzo Fernandez should score that, and he doesn't.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good opportunity. Liverpool have started so well here at Anfield. Liverpool, they're
really
just coming forward. That was a poor ball from Sabozlai. I tell you what, I know I said this once to show. We do love football.
Oh, it's the best thing
It's
in the world.
good to have football back, isn't it?
And what I will say, Sam, as well, is that last night, again, I know they spread.
They were poor games last night,
They
weren't
spread it over 3 days, but last night was underwhelming. But in each of these, got Inter Milan or Ajax versus Inter Milan, the Champions League finalists. I know they're not the same Inter Milan side. Against Ajax, we've won it 4 times. PSG versus Atlanta, PSG the defending champions. Liverpool versus Atletico, that writes itself in terms of narrative. And then Bayern Munich versus Chelsea. This is the Champions League being back.
Quakey, Bayern's waiting for another slice of European glory as Belsay gone on for way too long, having failed to win this competition since beating PSG behind closed doors in 2020. When you take a look at this Bayern team, and certainly the attack stands out with Elise, Gnabry, Diaz supporting Kane on the bench. They've got the likes of your former player, Nicholas Jackson. Do you know, when we talk about the favourites, correct me if I'm wrong here, boys, is it fair to say that the 3 favourites on paper, 4 favourites, you know what, I think you'd even put into a top 5.
Yeah.
Liverpool, PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and we're maybe putting Arsenal in that as a top 5. Is it fair to say that that certainly Liverpool, PSG, Madrid are the teams that people are tipping? Not many people are tipping Bayern Munich. Is that fair, Kwaku?
Bayern Munich, when I look at this Bayern Munich side, they look like a hindsight team. So say at the end of the season, Bayern Munich win the Champions League. Be like, well, of course, they've got Kane, they've got Elise, and they've got Diaz. One of these teams, if they don't win, it'll be like, yes, Asian team, they haven't really got the horsepower to go and challenge. And I thought Liverpool was that team last season in the Premier League. Liverpool were a hindsight team. Going to that, it was like, they haven't signed anybody, Salah a year older, Van Dijk a year older. And then when they do win it, it's like, oh yeah, of course they did, because Salah's one of the best players in the world, so is Van Dijk. So I think Bayern Munich is a wait and see situation. But when you've got that many talented players, like we saw with PSG last season, you can get on the run. And PSG lost in the group stage to Arsenal. They look like nothing. They look like a very competitive team. In Champions League, if you catch lightning, shot from Bayern Munich. If you catch lightning in the bottle and you've got a good enough manager and you've got good game management, there's no reason why.
Have they got a good enough manager?
That's the question, right?
Do you think they do? And they've certainly got an experienced manager. Do you trust Vincent Kompany? Do you back Vincent Kompany in the big moments, the big Champions League games to get it right in the knockout stages?
The fact that, I mean, I think the thing with Bayern as well is that they have had a bit of an underwhelming summer. You know, there was a sense that they had a few options on their list that they didn't quite get. Diaz, they end up bringing in on that left hand side. They missed out on Wirtz, who seemed to be like the sort of go-to target for them in the window. So there is a sense that they're underwhelmed with the business that they've done themselves. And I just think, like, when you mention some of those teams in there, Arsenal are buoyed by the momentum of who they've brought in. Liverpool similarly. Real Madrid, you can never write them off in the Champions League, and PSG will be, I think, a little bit disappointed by the amount of people that have probably wrote them off already, in the sense that they're turning their attention to other teams in the competition. I know they've had a few significant injuries, and we don't know how much that will affect them. Not much by the looks of this. They're 1-0 up against Atalanta. But it seems to me that those 4 teams have just got a slight edge over Bayern.
Can I just bring up a reason why PSG are underrated? Everyone told me it was a pre-season friendly. Everyone told me that it was a pre-season tournament and no one really cared about it. The reason why PSG aren't walking to this competition as definitive favourites is because the last time we saw them play a significant game of football, when everyone's watching, they got turned over 3-0 by Chelsea. And so if PSG won that game, there's no doubt about it, they'd be the prohibitive favourites for this tournament. But last time we saw them in a big game against Chelsea, in a game that everyone told me didn't really matter, they got turned over. So that's why, Ryan, to answer your question, why they should be perturbed about not being favourites, because Chelsea turned them over.
Yeah, and football sometimes is what you've seen in the last 4 or 5 games, isn't it? I mean, Jack Grealish now seems like a completely different player. Phil Foden, after that performance against Man United in the derby, just seems like, he's a hot shot for England. So, for me, there's a real degree there that you have 5 or 10 good games, and all of a sudden, your price tag goes up 20 mil.
I tell you what, one thing I've noticed early in this game, Kwaku, Chelsea are finding space and finding possession on the counter-attack against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have had a sort of a 3 or 4 minute spell of possession. They've been dominating it. But Chelsea, when in possession, are able to get out pretty quickly. And we sort of saw 2 half chances. They might not make highlights packages, but if the touch from first, it was Neto, wasn't it? And then Enzo Fernandez. If the touch was that tiny bit better, Chelsea could be ahead here. And once again, they've been playing down the right-hand side, ball across goal. Upamecano has to clear. It goes out for a corner. Bayern 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea got a corner, though.
Oh, we've got a corner, and we're interesting, right? Because I was talking to people in the office before this game and in the lead up to this game. I'm really excited. The first time in a couple of years we're back in the Champions League. And this is the first group game. There's so much of it to go. But Chelsea in Champions League just give you a different type of feeling. It's always gives me a different type of feeling. Not you.
No, not really,
I'm
no.
talking to two guys who support the English team when it comes to Champions League football. But Chelsea and Champions League, I'll never write us off of anything, really. And again, I didn't think we'd come beat Bayern Munich at the Allianz, but we've got good memories at this stadium.
Yeah, well, you were there, weren't you, right?
I was there.
2012?
I was there. You
were behind that goal there where
Manuel Neuer in the end, where Didier Drogba scored that header. I was at the opposite end to the penalty shootout.
That must have been some moment, that
that Drogba header was. I can still picture Martin Tyler's commentary on TV. That was limbs, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable. That whole run to the final, beating Barcelona, who were the best team in the world at the time, in the semi-finals. Obviously Ramirez's goal and then Fernando Torres' goal. Beating Napoli, who were a great team at the time, in the round of 16.
Did you lose the first leg as well?
Lost the first leg 3-1 and then won the second leg 4-1 at Stamford Bridge. One of my favourite games at Stamford Bridge.
Some early good news for Ange Postecoglou. His first game as Nottingham Forest manager was a defeat to Arsenal in the Premier League. But in the Cup tonight, away at Swansea, Nottingham Forest have taken the lead away at Swansea. Igor Jesus, the new centre-forward, has given Forest the lead. Cross came in from the left-hand side, which Swansea weren't able to clear. And the new centre-forward is able to come in round the back post and score from close range. So Swansea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. This is a Carabao Cup third-round game, Quaku. Back to you. Just incredible memories. And I just feel like Chelsea in the Champions League have just got a feeling right. And it's always seasons where we're not necessarily fancied. You think about 2012, think about 2021. Those are 2 years where Chelsea weren't fancy. They end up winning that competition. And so, going into this competition, I know that you listed the favourites: PSG, Liverpool, Real Madrid. Yeah, those are clearly a cut above in terms of quality of teams, the quality of squads. But I always back Chelsea in this competition. Well, if you want to back Chelsea this evening, 12-5 is the price away at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich 21-20. The draw is 23-10 with William Hill. Of course, please gamble responsibly. 18+ terms and conditions apply. But no goals yet involving our two teams in the Champions League. Bayern 0, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 0. Quaker, how's Alejandro Garnacho going to fit into this Chelsea team? I think he's had his wings clipped, and I think the biggest issue for Garnacho at Manchester United... What do you mean wings clipped? At Manchester United, obviously when he burst onto the scene, very exciting, was effective, scored some really important goals, some really spectacular goals as well. We all remember the goal at Goodison Park. We all remember the goal in the FA Cup final. The problem for Garnacho was at Manchester United, because of their poor spending, because of their poor recruitment, when a teenager wasn't playing well, he was still starting week in, week out for Erik ten Hag. I'm so sorry, but that should never happen in football. A teenager not playing well, they should be out of the team like that. A teenager shouldn't really be starting for you week in, week out, unless they're extraordinary or something's happened in terms of injuries. So the fact that he was almost given too much too young, and then we saw it with his mentality when he wasn't playing, right? He felt entitled. I think that their managing and the hand of Alejandro Garnacho was not correct. At Chelsea, he knows straight away, if he ain't playing well, he ain't playing. And Chelsea don't care if you're tweeting or your brother's tweeting. We're not going to change our minds. You're just not playing. We've got about 3 or 4 different players ahead of you. And so I think this is a Garnacho that's going to benefit from the fact that he's going to have to compete for his place in the team. There's no guarantees that he should be starting. I know that we disagree with the fact that he went on social media after the Europa League final, but if you look at Man United team that started it, he probably should have been starting. He probably should have. But at Chelsea, there's no guarantee of that. You look at Esteval, you look at Pedro Neto, you look at Jamie Gittins, you look at so many players who've got in those positions, and he's going to have to fight for his place. And I think that'll be good for a player that we have seen good things from, but in recent seasons, he's maybe come off the boil a little bit. Let's see what happens with him. But I'm not too disappointed with the business, right? If you would have asked Man United fans off the back of the FA Cup final they won under Erik ten Hag a couple of seasons ago, how much is Garnacho worth? He scored in that final as well. They'll probably tell you 60, 70 mil. We've got him for 40 mil. The same amount we've got Cole Palmer for.
It feels like, though, with Garnacho, we've spoken about this in terms of what are the missing links for Chelsea. You know, if you'd invested that money in, and I know this isn't the Chelsea way, the new way now, but if you'd invested that money in maybe someone who's quite an experienced centre-half, or, you know, someone who's a little bit older on that side, you know, just a step away, if you like, from the majority, which are young players that can be sold on for, you know, a significant value and price tag. If you stepped away from that, then that might have pushed you into a better place, I think, this year when it comes to, you know, competing for the major honours. You know, look at the options that you've got in your squad. You know, pound for pound, quite a lot of brilliant options, I think, from top to bottom in your squad. You know, there's certainly lots of quality there. It's just whether or not you maybe have one or two more experienced faces in there, especially in the back line. If you had an experienced centre half in that back line, do you concede that goal against Brentford? But, 2-2. That I think if I look at that, you could argue Garnacho's lost his man in the goal where Carvalho's equalises, and you could argue when they do that long throw, it was a warning already in the first half that someone should have cleared that. And if you get, I don't think that happens to an Arsenal. I don't think that happens to a Liverpool in that final few minutes, because you've got an experienced centre half who comes in and shows for it and deals with the danger.
Right, I promise you, I don't think you were here for that. I said the exact same thing to you, mate, a couple of weeks ago, and I highlighted some of the things you said on talkSPORT Goals last season, Kwaku, where you at the time, and it was a few months ago, said that you need this sort of A-side centre-back to come in and help and guide Colwill and Chalobah and whoever it might be, and that was obviously before Colwill's injury. But your opinion changed on that. You think Chelsea are good enough defensively, and I completely, Ryan, agree with you. When I look at the balance of this Chelsea team, look at Chelsea's last two signings in the transfer window. So I'm Buonanotte, who's a 10, and I signed Garnacho, who's a left winger. In my opinion, when I looked at the balance of that Chelsea team, there was absolutely no way in a million years that I thought they need a 10 and a winger before another centre-back, and I'd possibly even push and say the goalkeeper as well.
Not asked that something about Liverpool. Liverpool needed a defender before they needed a striker.
But they went for one. They went for one.
Yeah, sure, they did do.
And they were inches away from getting him.
Chelsea went for Mike Maignan. Like, do you know what I mean? Sometimes business happens and business doesn't. Like, Liverpool needed a centre-back. If Van Dijk or Konate goes down, which we'd hope they don't.
What if Tosin or Chalobah goes down now?
Well, yeah, 100%.
Cole was out for the season.
But like my choice.
But I don't know. But I think the difference is there's not an argument of if Tosin or Chalobah go down, because Tosin or Chalobah. But I mean, that is an argument in itself. But this idea it's the idea of are Tosin and Chalobah the starting pair good enough? Are they gonna be able to push you into a conversation where you could possibly challenge for the Champions League?
Even with Cole's injury, did your opinion not change on that? Even with Cole's injury.
Well, this is where I stood on the Chalobah thing, and I'll still stand on this. Trevor Chalobah by the end of the season, and again, it's maybe because I watched Chelsea, and maybe it's because I'm biased, but Trevor Chalobah will show everybody that he is a top centre back, and I know that people want to see it off the back. They want to see a mascara, right? First few games of the Premier League, first game of the Champions League, you see a superstar. Chalobah's journey's been different, and I compare it to Antonio Rudiger when we signed him from Roma. Nobody had any kind of ambitions of Rudiger becoming a world-class centre-back, but he developed, he learned how to get Thiago Silva, and by the time he left and he joined Real Madrid, there were still questions, right? They say he's a back three centre-back, but then he ended up being one of the best centre-backs in the world. Go on.
Can I interrupt you? Have a look at this free kick here that Bayern Munich are about to take. Bayern Munich have a free kick 30 yards out. He tries to play it short and it bounces off the referee. You've never seen more outrageous sort of amateur football player than that few seconds. So Craig, I'm not putting down. There we go.
I mean, it's the opposite to Gary Neville's, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's the most downbeat of all
You've got to get a soundboard for this show, because that would be top of the agenda, lad.
It is Upamecano who's given, as I'm sure you can tell by the look of Kwaku's face, has given. Ironically, they did genuinely try and take a free kick short out to the left-hand side, which bounced off. Did you see it? Which bounced off the referee. They've ended up taking it again, and this time it gets worked out to the right-hand side. It goes out to Elise on the right-hand side. He goes up against his man. He goes on the outside. He puts in a good ball, and it is Tosin there, isn't it? I mean, he really should get his foot on the ball. He completely misses it and ends up being an easy tap-in. Elise goes on the outside, ball into the box. Oh, Tosin just can't sort his feet out. He almost
Chalobah there, unbelievable.
That was Tosin, wasn't it?
Across both of their bodies. No one clears it.
When that ball comes in, Tosin can't work out whether to clear with his right foot or left foot. He ends up doing neither. The camera's panning in on Chalobah. Doesn't
go.
No,
does it come off Chalobah instead of McConnell?
Maybe.
Yeah, Tosin's massively.
That's Tosin, because I'm just looking at that situation there. Yeah, own goal. Gone down Chalobah, who I was just declaring at that moment in time was one of the best centre backs.
Literally. By the way, as that's happened, Tosin has an absolute. By the way, on a serious note, I think it's more Tosin's fault than Chalobah's fault.
It's massively
it ends up coming off Chalobah.
Tosin deal with it.
Tosin has to deal with a simple ball that comes into the box, and he doesn't.
Neither of them deal with it.
And the thing is,
are you sure you don't want to sign Mark Gahey?
No, again, this is the issue. This is the issue that we've got at Chelsea right now. And maybe
Oh, that is unreal.
I'm accepting.
Gravenberch is ridiculous, by the way.
Gravenberch is an unbelievable player.
Sorry, Cameron Quaid.
He changed the dynamic of Liverpool's midfield. I'm maybe accepting the fact that we are in a new era of Chelsea where we don't go out and sign the best players in the world. But if you want to go and get one of the best centre backs in the world, ostensibly, you're going to have to put him on more money than Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's our highest earner. Because of the new model, Cole Palmer's on like 200 grand a week. And if you want to go and get one of the best centre-backs in the world, you're going to have to pay them round about that fee. When people talk about Donnarumma, why didn't Chelsea get Donnarumma? Donnarumma's almost like double the amount that Cole Palmer's on. It doesn't fit the model, unfortunately. And maybe...
But you break the model for special players.
So you break the model for Donnarumma, and then what happens to Cole Palmer?
No, but
but there has to be there has to be a strategy there. Look at Salah. Look at Salah, for instance. We broke the model for Salah because we felt that if we lost him, that would derail what we're trying to achieve. And my general thought process is on it. If you've got two players that you think could come into that lineup and that could take you from being third, fourth, and challenging for Champions League, and then challenging for the major honours, then why wouldn't you do it?
I don't put you guys on the spot. I don't want to put you guys on the spot right now. Who are those players?
Sure you do.
Who are those players?
You do.
Give me that goalkeeper. Give me that centre back that makes Chelsea title contenders. That makes Chelsea compete with Liverpool. We've got Alexander Isak.
I think Mark Gahey is a great shout.
Come on, man.
I think Mark Gahey would improve that Chelsea team a lot.
Does Mark Gahey make Chelsea compete for the title? Come on, let's be realistic. He doesn't make them title challengers.
So what do you think's missing from Chelsea then to be title challengers?
Another left winger.
In terms of title challenges, what I think we need is time. I think these players will develop. I think we've seen from his early time or his early games at Chelsea, Esteval is going to be a very, very good player. Cole Palmer's only going to get better. I think we look at João Pedro, whose first season at this level is only going to get better. In terms of players that Chelsea could sign, if I'm being realistic and I'm not playing FIFA or Football Manager, where it's like, go and bring this.
Okay, but come on. Have you seen Chelsea spend FIFA or Football Manager? I can talk about spend. You can. Of course I can. I mean, have you seen these spends? Of course you can.
No, this is what.
Get out of
it. This comes down to the crux of why I have a problem with Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp sits in press conferences pleading poverty. We cannot compete. We cannot compete.
Well, it is time. It was true, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, it is time. It didn't spend as much as they have done this time.
Or was it the case of Jurgen Klopp's talent ID wasn't maybe there? Because when he first came in, he wasn't Mario Götze, and he wasn't the players that maybe were. And they were just like, no, let us deal with that. Let us deal with that. And they did deal with that, and they brought success.
Klopp's recruitment, though, was impressive at Liverpool.
I would argue how much was he involved in the recruitment.
Oh, you mean more soccer? I meant in the Klopp era.
Yeah, Klopp era, the recruitment was great. But so, in terms of Liverpool talking to us about spending, but you've also spent money.
Yeah, but also Quaku before that comes responsibility. It was two transfer windows to Liverpool where one player was signed for £10 million. There was also a transfer window where Liverpool sold players worth hundreds of millions of pounds, right?
If we didn't sit here listening to talkSPORT on deadline day when you guys were scrambling with us to try and sign Caicedo for £110 million.
Yeah.
So let's not deny that you've got the money there to spend it. You chose not to spend it.
We did.
You chose not to spend it. And this season you've chosen to spend it. And with that comes responsibility. Don't run from the grind. You should win the league title. On Chelsea,
what we're running from? The grind.
on Chelsea, I fully understand what you guys are saying, right? In terms of go and get this player, go and get that player. That player does not exist who gets paid under 150 grand a week. He doesn't.
You don't think of all the data and recruitment and talent ID that Chelsea had at their disposal.
What that would get...
Hear me out, Quaker. Across all of the leagues around the world, you don't think there was any centre-back out there Chelsea could sign to improve your team that wouldn't break Cole Palmer?
You bought two defensive midfielders last summer.
What signing that would be? What centre-back that would be, and I'll tell you guys, you'd be very familiar with this player, that money would get us somebody like Leone. That's what that would get us. It wouldn't get us a world-class centre-back.
They're looking for a penalty here in the Bayern Munich-Chelsea game. Caicedo and Kane is coming together. Harry Kane tries to take the ball past Moises Caicedo, who tries to almost get his foot around the ball. There's a bit of a coming together, and Kane goes to ground. And the referee's given a penalty here.
That's poor.
I mean, just briefly before the penalty.
Look at that again. That's not a penalty.
So Harry Kane manages to get the ball past Caicedo, and Caicedo almost tries to wrap his leg around the ball. The referee would say he hasn't got enough on it and has ended up making contact with Harry Kane. I thought my initial thought process here was it looked pretty poor. The referee took a while to point to the spot, but he eventually did. There's going to be no overturn. Harry Kane's got the ball on the spot. Sanchez is in goal. I'll let you guys have another look at a replay, but I didn't know whether maybe looked a touch soft on this. But it is Harry Kane. Sanchez in goal for Chelsea. Kane v Sanchez. Bayern Munich leading by a goal to nil. Harry Kane scores. Sanchez goes to his right. Harry Kane goes the other way. And there's the vintage Harry Kane celebration. And after a positive start, a good start for Chelsea, it's escalated quite quickly, Kwaku. Bayern Munich 2, Chelsea 0.
Killer.
Yeah. That's a killer of a goal. 1-0 down, you still think you've got a chance. 2-0 down against Bayern Munich team who've been free scoring this season. Yeah, you've got no chance. And I suppose it just speaks to the experience of the players who are playing this competition for the first time in a couple of years. But it's very disappointing.
You could do with Margay at the back here, really, couldn't you, to try and almost keep this back four together and to deal with, sort of basic balls into the box that don't get cleared properly?
An issue that I've got with the Margay thing, right, is that, like, I think we're elevating players because there's a dearth of talent in that position. I think Mark Gahey's great, right? I think he's a very, very good player. For you guys to say that he comes into Chelsea and makes us title challengers, I think is absolutely absurd.
Why is that absurd though? Because why is that absurd? Because if he goes on a free next summer, then he has got the pick of all the top clubs. Real Madrid would be interested in him, as reports have suggested. Bayern would be interested in him, as reports suggested, and Liverpool nearly got him over the line. There's a feeling that he would come in and replace Canate if he come in this summer, and Canate won the league with Liverpool last season. So this idea that
chance here for Chelsea. Cole Palmer's coming forward. He's played. Palmer's got a chance. Palmer scores.
Yes! Get in there! Get in there!
Cole Palmer.
Yeah, get in there.
Cole Palmer's just scored for Chelsea. Chelsea were 2-0 down. Once again, it's another really, really good counter-attack from Chelsea. Cole Palmer carries the ball a long way. He gives it out to the right-hand side. He gets the ball back. And then Kwaku, there was absolutely no doubt was there. Cole Palmer, left-footed finish into the back of the net.
What are they looking at?
I think they're checking for a foul earlier in the build-up to this, but
no foul there.
No foul.
There's not even a challenge, is there?
It's been from Caicedo.
Caicedo does so well to win the ball back. He plays Cole Palmer, carries the ball a long way. He gives it to his right. He gets it back. First time finish from Palmer is absolute perfection. He gets it back from Gusto. And then Kwaku, as he gets the ball back, as he arrives into the box, he opens up his body. Left foot, first time finish, into the roof of the net. It's a gorgeous finish.
One of the best players in the world. Like, and I think we take it for granted because as a Chelsea
you were having a go at him towards the end of last season when he couldn't score, get an assist, no money.
Was I?
Other Chelsea fans.
Other Chelsea fans were. I wasn't. He's one of the best players in the world, man. He's unbelievable. That's a great finish. Maresca's irate about something.
It can only be the penalty, right? The penalty that Caicedo. I've looked at it again. That the Caicedo challenge on Kane.
Soft, right?
Maybe, but then also the more I look at it, I think it maybe is a little bit reckless from Caicedo.
Big trouble for Chelsea. João Pedro's down. He looked concerned. Penny for the thoughts of Nicholas Jackson on the bench for Bayern Munich.
Imagine Jack. How was Nicholas Jackson ended up at Bayern Munich, by the way? Seriously.
Football's crazy.
It'd be like me leaving here and becoming the next.
Oh, wow.
Salah's got it in the box. Oh, Salah with
Isak's being clattered there. By the
oh, God. So Isak's. Oh, you are joking me. Isak has got his head into the turf and his head into his hands and he's holding something here.
Yeah.
Now, this would be something, wouldn't it? Yeah. If after all the talk, all the drama, let's have a look at this challenge again. Atletico give it away in the half. It comes to Isak. And as he gives the ball to Salah, he gets absolutely clattered. I'm not sure if number 24 is a Newcastle fan, but he's left one in there on Isak. And he's holding his left ankle, Isak, in some agony. But it's
like an impact challenge.
Yeah, more impact than kind of muscle pull or tear, right?
Yeah. Does look like an impact challenge.
On your point about Mark Gahey, sorry.
Are we still speaking about Gahey?
Yeah, no, but he just doesn't make chances.
Okay, can I ask you this one question?
When he comes to Liverpool and he's an option. You say he replaces Konate.
Nah, he's not an option.
He goes straight in.
He plays next to Van Dijk. Not ahead of Van Dijk, next to Van Dijk.
That's a bold claim.
Would you have said that before these 4 games this league season?
What?
No.
Possibly not.
No, you wouldn't. You say he's an option. But these first 4 games, yeah, fair enough. Konate's not been amazing. He comes in as an option at Liverpool.
Can I ask you this question, Kwaku?
Go on.
Let's say Chelsea, in the next 2 years, their recruitment and player development and player improvement and all that is as quick as it can possibly get.
Yeah.
And Chelsea, let's say even next season, Chelsea find themselves in a position where they're lifting the Premier League trophy in May. Yes or no, do you think Sanchez will be the goalkeeper, and Tosin and Chalobah will be the two centre-halves.
No, Tosin won't be centre-half. Chalobah will. And Rob Sanchez won't be the goalkeeper. No.
So you do need to sign a new goalkeeper if you are to go on and win that league, yeah?
We've got Mike Penders, who there's a lot of hope for. He's a young goalkeeper that we've sent out on loan multiple times.
Well, do you think Mike Penders will be the guy that takes you to the
you think Mark Gahey's going to be the guy that leads up?
I'm just saying. You
no,
know,
but I'm asking you a question. You think Mark Gahey will be? Because Mark Gahey's like, I understand
He definitely improves your chances.
Oh, for sure. But that's like saying Noni Madueke wins Arsenal the league. Like, Mark Gahey's a good... Mark Gahey's a good player, right? Like, Eze, who ostensibly is a better player in his position than Mark Gahey is in his position, doesn't win Arsenal the league. You both sit here and don't think Arsenal win the league. So to tell me that Mark Gahey wins Chelsea the league, come on, guys, get off it. He might improve us a little bit, but he's not... I don't think he's better than Chalobah, and I don't think he's better than Levi Colwill, personally.
I think he's better than Tosin.
Yes, he is better than Tosin.
So you need option, and Cole, you knew
an option in the Chelsea back line as he comes straight in.
But you knew a month ago that Cole was going to play. It wasn't going to kick a ball.
But you guys know for a fact that with a year left on their contract, Chelsea ain't paying £40 million for Mark Gahey. And Chelsea ain't paying Mark Gahey the wages that he wants. Well, because why didn't you pay for him?
Well, we did pay for him. They just didn't want him to come.
What?
We did pay for him. We just negotiated the best deal we possibly could. Yeah, I mean, there's no harm in that.
What makes you think that we could have got the deal over the line? If you couldn't get the deal over the line, if Liverpool, the best team in the country, couldn't get the deal over the line,
you got Caicedo off Liverpool last year. I mean, you beat us to Lavia. So this idea that you can't compete in those conversations.
Forbidding silly money, right? The Caicedo money, again, I'm a Chelsea fan who absolutely loves him. Nobody can sit here and justify a centre midfielder going for 115 million.
What about Lavia? What about Lavia? Look at his injury. But what about Lavia?
What, in terms of like us recruiting him?
Yeah, you're happy that you bought Lavia in and Caicedo in the same window?
100%. But us bringing in Mark Get all Chelsea through.
Neto's got the ball left-hand side, inside the box. Body's in the middle. Can he pick the right pass? He comes back to Caicedo. And that is not a shot of a man that you spend 150 million pounds on.
Although his shot at Brentford was. It was great.
Yeah, true. How would you summarise that shot, Kwaku, for our people watching on YouTube?
It's not past. Is it past Watershed yet? I can't say it quite yet. 25 minutes, I'll tell you.
What time is the Watershed?
Blistering.
9 o'clock.
Is it 9 o'clock?
Does it still exist? Does it exist on YouTube, the Watershed? Or can I swear now? Jamie? Can I swear? No, not having it. His face.
It's an open game, by the way, this Bayern Munich-Chelsea game. Really end-to-end game of football.
And I think we thought we would get that, right? With your guys, you guys have told me endlessly about how poor Chelsea's defence is. Bayern Munich going forward are great, and defensively I've still got some questions. The midfield of Pavlovic and Kimmich, I think can be got at. And so yeah, this was going to be a fun game. Chelsea can't concede the next goal. Like, you've got yourself back into it. Yeah. See it through till half time. Give yourself a chance in the second half.
How are you going to feel when Chelsea equalise in the 86th minute and Nicholas Jackson scores an 89th minute winner? How are you going to take Nicholas Jackson? There's a penalty check, by the way, in the Liverpool Atletico game at Anfield. I tell you what, 2 games. I'm struggling to keep up this evening. Plenty's going on. It's a penalty review here, not given originally. And it's for a handball. Frimpong gets to the byline, tries to cut the ball back.
And
Atletico defender makes a slide. I think it's Longley who makes a slide tackle.
No way they're checking this and giving this.
It looked like it.
No way.
Oh, he's given a penalty.
No way.
No penalty.
No penalty. It can't be. Thank you. Gone to the screen, didn't give it. That was crazy.
Come off his chest.
Why did they tell him to check it?
No, so it was given as a penalty.
Oh, okay. It was
given originally, and the referee has made the right decision there to go over. Yeah, he had one look at it, and clearly, as Longley went to ground, he made contact with the ball.
There's a different rule in the Champions League, though, isn't it? As soon as it hits your arm, it's a penalty.
I like to think, as you said, it just didn't come off his arm, did it?
Yeah, no, it didn't.
So to be fair, that was VAR used quickly, sensibly. It stays Liverpool 0, Liverpool 2. Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, they've got a corner. I think we've only got 9 more minutes left of Alexander. I think he's getting taken off at half time. I would like an Alexander Isak debut goal here, guys.
Chelsea through.
Chelsea are through.
Handball.
Came off his chest. Out to Pedro Neto. Shot goes over. I think it was Gusto's shot that bounced off a Bayern player. But I think it came... Oh, Van Dijk. But it came off his... What are you laughing at?
Van Dijk.
Do you know what?
I saw it as well, though.
It was one of those balls that just hung in the air. So it felt like an eternity.
Yeah, perfect.
I just thought Van Dijk was going to head it home. Yeah. But it got nowhere near him in the end.
He's... Okay. He's a difference maker. You bring in a defender like that, then you can say you can win the league. Mark Gahey's great, right? I still think Mark Gahey's a B-side.
You're not going to get in Van Dijk, are you? Well, so that's it. So Chelsea can't compete for the league unless you bring in Van Dijk. Really? Is that a debate you want to go down? Because I'm happy to have it with you.
Well, unless Chelsea can
We'll have a look.
We'll have a look. Of course we'll have a look.
Why is this show carnage tonight?
Of course.
We haven't got the extra. We haven't got Lee hours.
Thank God Lee's not here tonight for this show.
He's just got a problem with me. I don't know what it is. Him and producer Jamie got a problem with me.
Everyone seems to have a problem with you on this show, don't
but with okay, cool. I understand what you're saying. Chelsea can't expect to bring in a Virgil van Dijk, but you guys are speaking as if Mark Guehi is Virgil van Dijk.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are.
How can you not understand the argument?
It's a top class option.
Yeah.
Top.
But Quakey, do you not think there is somewhere in the middle of your centre backs and Virgil van Dijk? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Like, there could be a defender out there who may not guarantee you 100% winning the Premier League, but could be a better option than what you've got at the moment. Mark Guehi's
better than Tosin, yeah. That is it.
That headline.
For 40 million, with 1 year left in his contract, I personally wouldn't have done the deal.
All right, well, you're not going to lead the season anyway.
No, we're not. We wouldn't have won it. Mark. Oh, no.
Oh! Bayern should score. Elise plays a really, really good ball into as that Lima is made in overlap, and he takes the ball in his path, entering the box. Elise's touch is just nonchalant touch. The ball gets pinged into him, and the ball just goes wide of Robert Sanchez's far post.
Hot take. So I think the consensus
hasn't always been a hot take.
Yeah. Consensus is world football, right? That best right wing in the world, Mo Salah. Don't think there's any question about that, really.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Second best, people normally go Bukayo Saka. I think by the end of the season, we're going to say Michael Olise. I think Michael Olise is just the ability, just the slickness, how easy he is on the eye as well. He's a classy player, and I think.
Just wide. The ball got played into him outside the box. He did well to find space, open up his body, and he just tried to curl it into the far corner. Look at this, Ryan. First touch is really good. Second touch is good.
Yeah.
And it's unlucky. It's a good effort. Just wants to make room for himself.
Just signs. I mean, look, I mean, we can't dress it up. He's looked rusty. He's not looked. He's not added the same poise to the forward line that we've had with Atletico. A couple of games. That was Salah. Salah. So he hasn't really offered. He hasn't really offered much, to be honest with you. And I think a large part of that is down to his pressing. Stock came out and talked about why he liked the idea of Isak coming into the side. And one of it was the pressing option that he gives us, and he's just not doing that to the same pace. And you see, the way he gets clattered before, that comes down to just a little bit of sharpness, I think. Because if he's a bit sharp and he gets the ball quicker, and he probably draws the foul rather than just getting clattered say.
PSG have a second goal against Atalanta. Kvaratskhelia. Is he a right? He's a right. He plays naturally on the right, doesn't he?
Yeah, but they switch so much.
I was thinking initially, who's the PSG right winger? But they do alternate, don't they? But yeah, Kvaratskhelia scored a fantastic goal for PSG, cutting in from the right-hand side on his left foot. He carries the ball a long, long way. He shifts it back onto his right, and it's a fantastic, powerful finish into the back of the net. Really good goal there. So PSG, the defending champions, leading 2-0 at home to Atalanta. Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 0, Bayern Munich 2, Chelsea 1. That's a really open game. Szoboszlai with the ball into the box.
There is talk, though, that Elise is the Salah replacement.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And that's the raw there.
Where'd you hear that from, mate?
A lot of rumours. A lot of rumours circulating that next summer...
sorry, outside the box.
He set up the last 2 minutes, hasn't he?
He gets the ball into his feet outside the box. He shifts his feet pretty quickly, and this time his shot, though, is a little bit too tame, and it goes straight into the hands of Jan Oblak. But in the last 5 minutes, we've seen a couple of moments there of the Isak of old. Good movement, quick feet. Nice, just the finish wasn't there. Sorry, ITK. Are you saying that Michael Elise will be a Liverpool player?
Instead of like MBE, I want ITK.
The ITK Ryan Bromley.
No, nothing. No, I did. This is just the general consensus that's what he would be top of Liverpool's shopping list next summer for a right winger, and he's got a release clause in his contract. Is the general sense? And I think if he came in, that would be quite terrifying.
Oh man.
Because, ultimately he offers us, quite a lot of what Salah brings to this side. So you wouldn't be losing anything, would you? And you'd be a year in of Ekitike and Isak. And then Chelsea would have no chance, wouldn't they? That logic.
Must have saying Mark Guehi twice.
And then you definitely have to win the league and don't run from the grind. I'm watching Liverpool very closely this season.
Yeah,
I'm watching very, very closely.
Are you watching Inter Milan closely? Because Inter Milan have taken the lead away at Ajax, last season's runners-up, thumped the course in that final, have taken the lead away at Inter Milan. So Ajax 0, Inter Milan 1. Ball into Isak now. Gives it to Wirtz.
Good pass.
Oh, he takes it around the goalkeeper. And as he does, his touch was a bit heavy. And Frimpong came running onto it, but Atletico managed to clear. But Isak played a really good ball into Florian Wirtz. His first touch, the touch take it around the goalkeeper. A little bit heavy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's almost he second guesses himself again. I'd like him to see
a bit more conviction,
it's
maybe.
It's first time. He seems to be quite unselfish at times. I don't know if that's a confidence thing. I don't know if he thinks he's got more time than he ordinarily would do.
I think he gets played through and on goal, and I think as the keeper comes rushing out, exactly the finish is there. Lift your foot under the ball.
Him.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
Why you take that extra?
Lack of confidence, is it?
No, but Burnley as well.
That's the one thing that I don't like people doing, right? I know that Florian Wirtz has not hit the ground running, but people are trying to write him off already. I'm like,
who's doing that?
People who are not watching the games, because like even in the games that you're watching, right, you're just like, you see it. You see the talent there. You see the ability there. Yeah. He's going to be, when he figures it out, he's going to be unbelievable. He's going to be one of the best players in the league.
I feel like the arguments around Liverpool tend to smack of wishful thinking.
Yeah,
there's a lot of theories around what could happen, what couldn't happen, and it brings me back to a moment last season when Liverpool had a run of quite difficult games and a congested period of difficult aways and homes, and everyone said, "Oh, this is where Slot will get found out." And Liverpool, who haven't bought anybody in the summer, aren't going to find any real, they're not going to continue on this vein of form.
You beat everybody.
And we beat everybody.
I remember you had Leverkusen in that run, and you smashed them.
We smashed them 4-0.
Yeah.
So.
But what was funny, it was like after every next game.
Yeah,
like,
like, that wasn't. I just kept, and then what people do afterwards, and I totally agree. Afterwards, like, yeah, but Leverkusen weren't that good.
Yeah.
Well, that team weren't actually. Or Brighton weren't actually that good.
Rebel to the rubbish, aren't they?
Yeah, that was it.
They're nowhere near as good as the team that won the Champions League 4 months ago.
I do see that with Liverpool. There is a lot of wishful thinking. I think the only area that I kind of I'm a little bit concerned about, and I know that Robson had a decent game on the weekend.
What do you make of him being
the fullbacks?
Both of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I may be judging play too early. I don't know if Frimpong is a natural right back, but neither was Trent, and they managed to figure out a way to make it work. Just in those fullback areas, I just think that's a position of weakness a little bit for Liverpool. But again, you don't deny that Slot can maybe figure out a way to.
But is it though? Because Bradley, you could argue, is potentially first choice over Frimpong, and you could argue Szoboszlai's come in and did a.
You just left the defence of Florian Wirtz, saying he deserves time at a new team, maybe bigger expectations. Is the same not for Milos Kerkez? Sure, it's been a ropey start. Does Milos Kerkez not need more time to settle? Forest 2-0 now at Swansea, by the way. PSG just missed a penalty home to Atalanta. Doué's penalty saved PSG 2, Atalanta 0. What about Kerkez? Why are you giving up on Milos Kerkez already?
I'm not. But you've actually led me in perfectly to one of my favourite topics.
Oh, here we go. I can't have this again.
3 p.m. players. 3 p.m. players.
3 p.m. players.
Have you heard this, Ryan?
So, kickoff time's a big thing to me. And then,
by the way, can I just say, Ryan just pulled a face there. That the camera that needs to be gift, Ryan. That you need to make that like your Instagram profile. This look of disgust, as Kwaku said.
I'm sure I'll find another opportunity tonight with these opinions.
3 p.m. players, right? Like, it's all well and good on a Saturday, 3 p.m. These games aren't televised in the UK if you're trying to watch the games legally. Like, you're just tucked away, right? No one's really watching you. But when it's 4:30 on a Sunday, it's a different level of scrutiny. I saw Mbeumo through on goal against Manchester City. Again, it was the Charles offside. And it was the most 3 p.m. finish I've ever seen in my entire life.
Is that me?
Like, I'm watching a lot of players this season. Whether it's Mbeumo, whether it's Cunha, whether it's Aït-Nouri, whether it's Eze.
He played one game for Man United.
No. But I'm saying he's a 3 p.m. player, right?
Is Milos Kerkez a 3 p.m. player?
I'm just saying, let's see how you do.
What time was Liverpool versus Arsenal when
Sunday 4:30?
Who was on the right hand side, has been terrorising people down that flank, and he was pocketed by Kerkez all game. What time was that? Was that 4:30? Because I thought that prime time television.
That was 4:30.
I thought it was. And then one of the biggest games in the Premier League.
Okay, cool.
I thought it was.
That's fair enough. And then the prime time slots, right? Ideally, it's 4:30 on a Sunday. Yeah. It's 12:30 on a Saturday. What happens to
prime time slot?
Yes, it is. It's one is one broadcaster. The other's the other broadcaster. They both get number one picks. Right. The other broadcaster picks the 12:30 game, and the other broadcaster picks the 4:30 game. Right. What happens to Milos Kerkez in the 12:30 game on Saturday, Ryan?
Oh, Sunday 2 o'clock, wasn't it? Burnley game.
Oh yeah, what? He didn't play Saturday, mate. He was at home having some
Sunday. It was Sunday 2 o'clock.
Sunday 2 o'clock. What happened to him? Hooked. hooked.
Yeah,
Absolutely hooked. Like, so he's had.
well, you just said to me the two showpiece kickoffs are 4:30 and 12:30, and then you've just isolated the game 2 o'clock on a Sunday.
2 o'clock's also on TV. It's not 3 p.m.
Oh right, okay.
So Sunday 4:30, so Sunday 4:30 is, but Sunday 2 o'clock still on TV. Liverpool still playing on TV at 2 o'clock on a Sunday.
4:30 is the prime time slot. 12:30 is the prime time slot. TV games.
Yeah.
TV games.
Every game's a TV game now, isn't it? Give or take.
3 o'clock. I don't know what dodgy stick you've got. 3 o'clock's definitely not a TV game. Oh,
he might have a cousin in America.
Yeah, 3 p.m. is not a prime time game. So let's see what these players.
Oh, Atletico Madrid have just scored at Anfield.
Get out of
Liverpool 1, Atletico Madrid. Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1. It's been comfortable. It's felt like Liverpool have been in complete control of this game for 40 minutes or so. 2-0 up, and Llorente has just slotted home to give Atletico Madrid, well, real hope and belief going into the second half. Then he gets the ball coming in, making a move infield from right back. It's a good touch, it's a good finish, beating Alisson at the far post. So Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1. I don't know what you're rubbing your hands together. You're lot getting stuffed. 2-1 away at Bayern Munich. And Michael Elise has got a corner for Bayern Munich. It's going to be an in-swinging corner from Elise, and Sanchez, to be fair, does really well. Well, so do you know what though? But so Llorente puts the ball in the back of the net. Nice finish. There is Griezmann, who is miles offside.
Right in front of
My thing with this one here is if Griezmann is not in that position, I still believe Alisson does not get down low and keep that out.
No, he can't get there anyway.
Like if Griezmann's there or not, it's going in the back of the net.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I mean, you can tell Llorente's not a 3 p.m. player, is he? With that type of finish. Slick footwork,
I think that's...
But goal's been given. Goal stands.
I'm surprised you guys are just chilling that.
Do you know why? Because he puts that, he toe pokes that with pace into the bottom corner. If you remove Griezmann from that play, Alisson still doesn't save it. He's not in Alisson's eye line. He might be in offside position, but Alisson's not saving it. He can't be impacting play there.
What a ball!
By the way, on a serious note, where does Gravenberch rank among not just the best midfielders?
I tell you what, I don't know if you want to start it now as we go straight into the break, but maybe
save it. There
is definitely a debate to be had.
Okay,
there.
we'll save that. We'll have a cup of tea during half time. And we will have this debate on the other side of the break. So we have got then some half. What are you
He's giving me disapproving looks here.
I'm so intrigued by the debate. Let's see what he says after the break. About
Ryan Gravenberch?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think me and him are going to be on the same wavelength. So we're approaching half-time then. 3 half-times already in the Champions League at 8 o'clock. Inter leading Ajax by 1-0. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1. PSG comfortably 2 up at home to Atalanta. It is Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1. Liverpool have got a free kick, which they're going to launch into the box. Van Dijk at the back post gets his head on it. It goes out for a goal kick there, and that will then also be half-time in the game at Anfield. And in the Carabao Cup, Ange Postecoglou looks set to win his first game as Forest manager because Forest are 2 up away at Swansea. So therefore at half-time in our 8 o'clock games up and down the country and across Europe on talkSPORT Gold, we will take a very, very quick break. And then when we come back, we will be bringing you the second half of all of our action. Very good evening. It's talkSPORT Goal. Sam Ellard, Kwaku Afari, Ryan Kwaku Afari. I'll try that again. Ryan Bromlow with you until about 10 o'clock this evening on talkSPORT's YouTube channel, and you can watch us too on your smart TVs. A very, very good evening. It's Champions League night. 2 results: Olympiacos 0, Paphos 0, Slavia Prague 2, Bodo Glimt 2. The 8 o'clock games in the Champions League. Liverpool are beating Atletico Madrid by 2-1. Alexander Isak is starting for the first time in a Liverpool shirt. No goals yet. Robertson and Salah giving Liverpool a 2-0 lead after 6 minutes. It felt comfortable, maybe too comfortable for Liverpool until Marcos Llorente scored just before half-time. Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1. Liverpool have come up trumps in each of their last 14 home games in UEFA competitions across both the Champions League and Europa League, while incredibly scoring 2 or more goals in their most recent 13 of those contests. Atletico themselves have only lost just 1 of their last 10 opening games of a Champions League campaign, winning 5 of them. Diego Simeone has also won both of his past meetings with Arne Slot. Bayern Munich-Chelsea is a good game, an entertaining game of football. Bayern Munich are leading at half-time by 2-1. A Chalobah own goal and a Harry Kane penalty. Cole Palmer did score for Chelsea, so it's very much game on as we go into that second half. Bayern Munich last season struggled for a lot of the league phase. They missed out on a top 8 finish in last season's league phase. They did navigate the first stage unbeaten at home, though, and have now strung together a magnificent 34-game sequence without a Champions League phase group stage defeat at the Allianz Arena. In fact, the last time Bayern lost a Champions League group, or league phase now as we call it, came in front of their own fans was in December 2013. They last lost at home in the Champions League group stage 2013, which is quite remarkable, and it looks set not to end this evening. Ajax 0, Inter Milan 1. Marcus Thuram scoring for Inter Milan just before half-time. Ajax yet to lose so far this season. Inter reached 2 finals in 3 years under Inzaghi, but the reins were surprisingly handed over to Christian Chivu, who was the champion with Inter back in 2010. Not too much coaching experience. He took his new squad to the knockout rounds of the Club World Cup before making a mixed start in Serie A, but so far so good this evening. And the other game sees the Champions League holders PSG beating Atalanta by 2-0. Marquinhos and Kvaratskhelia scoring for PSG. They also, though, PSG have missed a penalty, but are pretty comfortable at home. The one game in the Carabao Cup is Swansea 0, Nottingham Forest 2. 2 goals for Igor Jesus, giving Nottingham Forest a 2-0 lead, and possibly Ange Postecoglou's first win as Forest boss. Kwaku, what have you made of Chelsea's performance in Germany?
Yeah, it's been mixed. Going 2-0 down, it felt like all hope was lost, but Cole Palmer doing Cole Palmer things against big sides and getting that goal has definitely brought us back into it. I suppose the problem I've got for Chelsea is that I think Enzo Maresca didn't look beyond the Brentford game, but you were there. He rotated his side. I think maybe he took that for granted, because if you look at it on paper now, didn't win the Brentford game. It's tough to go to the Allianz and say you're going to win. And then the game on the weekends against Manchester United, and Chelsea haven't won at Old Trafford since 2013. And so that could potentially be 3 games in all competitions that you haven't won a game. And so I'm just looking at the second half, looking at the Chelsea team and saying, have you got what it takes to turn it around? And if you have, you'll show me something a bit different.
Well, if you do fancy Chelsea turning around away at Bayern Munich this evening, the latest odds with William Hill, Chelsea 15-2 to win. Bayern Munich are 4-11. The draw 17-5. Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Liverpool 2-9 to win. The away victories 12-1. The draw 4-1. Some other couple of half-time boosts, William Hill, which might interest you. A second half goal in each of the 4 8 o'clock Champions League matches is now 4-5, boosted from 8-11. And Liverpool, Chelsea and Inter Milan all to score in the second half was 9-4. It's now 5-2. It's 18+. Gambleaware.org. It is talkSPORT Goals. We take one more very quick break, and then when we come back, we're watching the second half games in the Champions League. Yeah, very good evening and welcome back to talkSPORT Goals. We are absolutely live on talkSPORT's YouTube channel and we come to you as well on your smart TVs. We absolutely love a Wednesday night, don't we, of Champions League football. It's so good to have the Champions League back. I'm your host, Sam Ellard, Kweki Wafari, and Ryan Bromlow, who's becoming a little bit of a... have you seen Ryan sort of getting a few more gigs? He's becoming a bit more of a regular now on talkSPORT Goals, aren't you, Ryan?
Inside Liverpool, sorry.
Hey, mate, I'm not gonna talk too soon. You know.
Yeah.
It's part of the course.
Did you put, I don't know if you were taking the Michael on your story that someone recognised you and spotted you from talkSPORT Goals?
I was taking the mic, yeah.
Oh, were you really? Yeah, you just lied instead of...
I wanted to feel what it was like to be a day in Kweki Wafari's.
You should have seen him. You know, sometimes...
That's the Club World Cup, mate.
I was told, by the way, by some people out there, that this boy can go anywhere in New York without somebody coming and grabbing a selfie with him and having a...
Mate, the traffic round our table when we go for a pint. Unreal.
Mate, they're after Abby, not him, when we went out for a pint, you know. Come on, let's get it right, you know what I mean?
No.
Honestly, producer Jamie's about to come and join us on air for his... I would have thought, given the producer Jamie's had a few goes at hosting The Window throughout the summer, I thought he was angling for my job, by the way.
Yeah, no, I don't feel threatened, though. Jamie's... He's got a pretty face. But I don't know if he's got quite the chops to
Oh right, I think he's got the chat. If anything,
plenty of chat.
Yeah, I think he's got the chat.
He just uses it, in certain situations, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a good man. So half times then in our 8 o'clock games in the Champions League, it's Ajax 0, Inter Milan 1, Bayern 2, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1, PSG 2, Atalanta 0. I feel like I'm Kweki Wafari doing the National League stuff on a Saturday afternoon doing this, eh? And in the Carabao Cup, Swansea 0, Nottingham Forest 2. By the way, as well, I've got to just say, we need to talk Final One Standing, okay? Because talkSPORT Goals is brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill, 18+, gambler.org. Terms and conditions apply. Deadline for all leagues is Saturday 12:30. So I was knocked out before the international break. I came back in for last week. I went Newcastle to beat Wolves, which they very much did. So I'm still alive and kicking in Final One Standing. You're still in, Kwaku. Are you in the original main one?
Original main one.
Are you actually?
Yes.
Oh, mate, respect.
Thank you. But this is the toughest week. Because I've used...
Who have you gone for so far?
I've used Liverpool already. I got lucky with Liverpool.
Burnley. Oh, is it?
Yeah. Jammy. I've used Chelsea already. I've used Arsenal already. And I've used City already.
So you've used basically the top 4 teams.
Yeah. I know. I went early.
That is...
But the thing is, I think that with this competition, it's kind of like you've got to just stay in it. Like if you just go out because...
As opposed to going out.
Yeah, but you just have to take risks early on and you're out. You've got no chance. But if you just take the bank and start...
You can take a calculator risk though, can you?
Like who? I don't know, man. I like to just have...
Do you know why? Do you know...
So who going this week?
Me?
Yeah.
But I'm different to you because I've just...
But if you were me...
Okay, if I was you...
So you can't do Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea or...
City,
no. It's tough, mate.
What's what happens?
Spurs playing against Brighton away.
Forest to win at Burnley?
That's tough. Like, do you guarantee that?
I'd say Palace, West Ham.
I'm not sure.
Palace, West Ham.
Can I throw...
At West Ham. Don't know.
Well, you're going to have to pick one, aren't you, mate?
I know.
Yeah. Well, it's not easy.
Thing is, I think you're in a situation where I think Brighton, Spurs, Burnley, Forest, West Ham, Palace, Wolves, Leeds, Fulham, Brentford, Bournemouth, Sunderland, Villa. None of them. They're all really tough ones. You are going to have to take a punt here at any point.
Yeah,
definitely. So you're saying Palace?
I'd say Palace at West Ham. Yeah. And you could even be brave and go for Wolves.
Yeah.
Do you want Jamie Hutchinson's advice? Jamie Hutchinson, who famously backed Burnley to win away at Spurs. Do you know what? I nearly got done by the replay.
Yeah, same.
I've literally nearly just shouted goal, Cole Palmer, and it's you'd think having watched football for like 10 games of football for 30 years, I would know that at half time they show replays. Jamie Hutchinson, who was not. By the way, Jamie, since you've been re-entered, are you still in? Have you been? You've changed tactics. You haven't decided to back newly relegated teams away from home against teams that are really good, right? Very sensible. He'll explain it to me one day. So the guy that backed Burnley to beat Spurs first day of the season, lost 3-0, has said Fulham home to Brentford. I don't hate it.
Fulham.
I don't love it.
I don't think you're going to love any of them.
No, yeah, that's got draw written all over that.
What, Fulham, Brentford?
Yeah, or the Brentford win.
I don't like Palace at West Ham.
I don't like Palace at West Ham. I know what you mean.
Do you know West Ham I'm going to go on a slow curve, Andy. Yeah.
I'm going to go. For me, I would go Forest away at Burnley.
I don't know. Seeing you boys at Burnley.
Difficult it was for Liverpool.
Yeah, seeing you boys at Burnley, man. I don't know, man.
So all you've done at the moment is Oh, we are. This is this live? Just to clarify.
These like back off.
Isak has come out for the second half.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Before we carry on, who are you going for? Very quickly.
I will probably go for Palace or West Ham, but I don't love it.
Oh, there you go.
I don't love it.
I don't love it.
Where's that from? I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Where's that
from?
I love it.
Oh, anyway.
I'm making up my own quotes.
Guys, we need to get back into the game here. But on a serious note, if you want to do final one standing, there's lots of money up for grabs. It's a little bit of fun. You back a team every weekend. You can't back the same team. We have lots of fun, don't we, here, Quaku, don't we? The banter and talkSPORT goals, the WhatsApp group is flying. We have a very early goal then in the second half in the game between Ajax and Inter Milan. Marcus Thuram, Quaku, has scored his second goal of the evening. He scored one just before half-time, and he's headed home from a corner at the start of the second half. So Marcus Thuram has given Inter Milan a 2-goal lead. It was a tough...
Lovely. that was just so sweet, that move. Sorry.
No, that's more interesting than my Inter Milan stats. Go on, what happened?
It's just...
I want to hear, sorry.
A flip round the corner from Vince and combination play with Soboslai just opened up Atletico right down the middle there. It just comes to nothing, but that was really sweet play. It was.
Good. Oh, goodness me. I thought Carl Palmer was going to intercept there, a back pass from Neuer. So the 4 games down in the Champions League. Ajax 0, Inter Milan 2, PSG 2, Atalanta 0, Bayern 2, Chelsea 1, and Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 1. As Quaku rightly pointed out, being very observant, Alexander Isak is back out for the second half, Quaku.
Yeah, that's...
Are you surprised?
I think if he would have scored in the first half, he would have come off.
You reckon?
Yeah, but he's a striker, right? I think Liverpool fans, again, you guys can speak to this more than I can.
Front of the cop as well.
Yeah. Well, go into this game, right? I think 2 players you want to score in this game are Wirtz and Isak.
It's Isak. Just Isak.
I
think so, yeah.
I think a Wirtz goal would be great.
No, it would not be good.
I think Wirtz goal would be good. Because I think the narrative about Wirtz starting to build, and I don't like it, because he's a player that, watching Euros last year, and they moved Musiala out of position to accommodate Wirtz. Like, people forget how good of a player he is. And I hate the narrative that builds around players. Remember, like, before Kevin De Bruyne joined Man City, even his first few games, it's like, can you do it? Is he that good? And I just think you kind of diminish foreign leagues and say they're not as good as the Premier League. But I think right. The eye test tells you the Florian Wirtz is the top player.
But then those same people that are so adamant that Florian Wirtz isn't going to be good, as you rightly, it will take 1 goal for him to go, actually, he's quite good.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas really, you can't just judge someone off. You've got to look at his all-round game, and I agree with you. I think he's way too good. Technically way too good. And I think we've seen glimpses of the Arsenal game of that quick feet, good movement. But yeah,
people can't have it both ways as well. Like, people can't sit and say Liverpool had an incredible summer and they say Wirtz is a flop. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think...
I'm looking forward to one tweet. Alexander Isak didn't score today. Is he really all that? I mean...
That's coming, though.
Is Voltemada really better than him? Did Newcastle get a right deal? Quaku, in terms of this Chelsea team then, it's a different team, isn't it, with Reece James playing as part of a midfield 3. Him and Caicedo kind of sitting. Enzo Fernandez is playing off João Pedro, Palmo and Netta out wide. I guess you've got options off the bench, which is the good thing. You've got, obviously, I guess the 2 obvious ones would be Garnacho and Gittins. In fact, sorry, you've also got Esteban Buonanotte. Also, Buonanotte.
Strange.
When Buonanotte came to Chelsea, am I right in saying that I thought the plan was he was going to be loaned out to another one of the that you're kind of
Strasbourg, yeah.
And then that didn't happen, and then he's starting against Brentford.
There was all an Enciso, Buonanotte kind of merry-go-round. I don't love it. I don't love it.
Was Enciso, sorry, that was going to go to Strasbourg?
Yeah. But the thing is, Buonanotte is only on loan at Chelsea.
Sorry, I stand corrected, by the way. Yeah, it was Enciso who I think was the player.
Yeah.
That you were linked with. Yeah. Brighton player who played for Brighton was going to go on loan. So not Buonanotte.
It's all. Okay, so this is the problem that I've got.
Oh, PSG 3, Atalanta 0. This is way too easy. Yeah, it's bad goalkeeping. He gets playing down the left-hand side from a tight angle. He beats the goalkeeper. It goes right through him and goes right through his legs. Of course, something, by the way, PSG, we shouldn't forget. Were you here, Quaku, during the PSG-Man City game in the league phase when Man City went 2 up on PSG?
Yes,
that was the 6th game of the league phase. PSG started that game with 3 games to go in the outside of the top 24. Found themselves 2-0 down, ended up coming back and winning 4-2, and then the rest is history, right?
Well, they caught lightning in the bottle, and I think the reason why PSG translated and resonated so much with people from over here is that they just literally beat all the English sides. All the English sides.
It was every single one. City in the league phase, Liverpool, Villa, and obviously Arsenal. Yeah.
And Arsenal, and obviously when they came up against the mighty Chelsea in the Club World Cup, they couldn't do anything. But against all the other sides in the Champions League,
because Mark Gahey, I know he wasn't.
But yeah, they're a side that caught lightning in the bottle. And again, a hindsight side, right? Going into the season, you're like, well, PSG, I'm not too sure. And at the end of the season, it's like, yeah, Nuno Mendes one of the best fullbacks in the world. Hakimi, one of the best fullbacks.
Pocket to Salah.
Yeah. It's just like, it's one of these situations where with Champions League.
I thought that was the moment. Sorry. Oh, Robertson put in a really good ball. It was Isak. He just tried to get up. Is he going to penalty? No, he has. There's offside.
Who takes penalty if they get it?
Salah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Robertson puts in a really good, dangerous ball, and I think he gave a push on it from Isak.
No, it's a free kick, isn't it?
Yeah, gave a free kick. So I don't know if there was a loose hand in the air there.
Start with it when you said penalty. I thought, is it?
No, because I thought he pointed to the spot, but he didn't.
Chelsea.
Neto. A couple of times there, he's been a bit indecisive. Can we shame shoot here from outside the box? He can. It's a poor shot.
Tame.
Okay, question. You both said Salah straight away.
Yeah.
Does Alexander Isak, who hasn't shown us in the Premier League yet, he can get to 20 league goals without scoring penalties? Does he get to 20 league goals this season at Liverpool without taking penalties?
I mean, it just depends how quickly it takes him to build up his fitness, mate. I mean, I've seen flashes of him here. What I was going to say there is I think there's a chemistry developing between him and Wirtz, which is really exciting. He seems like he keeps picking him out every moment he gets. The balls and some are fairly rigid at times. They're lacking a bit of pace on them, but he's starting to come into his own a little bit, Florian, over these last 15 minutes or so. So I think if those two can gel, then absolutely he's in with a shout with it. But I'm certain that Salah will take penalties this year. I'm certain that will be the case.
Well, that's my issue. And again, this is not me kind of trying to poke holes at Alexander Isak. I just think it's
well, it is.
No offence.
Exactly what's happening here.
I'm about to offend you or something.
But it's a tough ask for any striker in the Premier League to come and score 20 league goals from open play. Do you know what I mean? I think that's difficult asking anybody to do that. Erling Haaland, asking anybody who's ever come and played football in this league to score 20 open goals is a tough ask. I don't know if he gets to that number at Liverpool. And if he does, we're talking about not just one of the best strikers in the league, but one of the best strikers in the world. And but
the service into him will be a top draw, won't it?
But then there's a conversation about it being split. In terms of
I was just thinking in terms of penalties, but he's somebody that I think will be able to impact games. And my general feeling on this is Atletico, who's hit the ground running really well. I think he probably needs about 2 to 3 chances every. I think Isak's different to that. I think actually he's a 1 in 2. And if I could see him being quite prolific. It's talk about recency bias. It's difficult to watch his performance tonight and have that in the back of your head, thinking, well, he looks a little bit stodgy, still trying to find his rhythm. I think he's grew sharpness as the game's gone on. Really, we're starting to see him more and more involved over the course of the last part of the first half and the early part of the second.
Whose feet was that?
Salah.
And let's not forget as well that Salah's such a creative engine.
But I thought Wirtz
he wants it. He wants it so much, doesn't it?
Huh? How much you guys want the Isak goal?
How good of a moment would this be if Alexander Isak in front of the cop on his first start?
Isak's in his own 6-yard area. It's Isak! It's Isak!
Hey, that was not a hard ball from Wirtz. Isak was in. It was a bad.
Oh! Whoa! That's
Bayern through on the counter-attack here. Harry Kane, 25 yards out.
Nice.
And he cut in and shoot. He does shoot. But in the end, that was Diaz, wasn't it? Yeah, he tried to cut in from the left-hand side. On Pedro Neto, by the way, I'm being told by producer Jamie, who produces Inside Chelsea, that on this week's episode...
Oh, cheers for the invite, by the way, mate. I'm not done a show for a little while.
Apparently, it was Jason Cundy, Matisse, and Lipazaglo who did this week's show. Apparently, it did really good numbers.
You just go on paternity leave once and you just lose your slot on the show.
Why'd you have kids during the season then?
Fair enough.
Honestly, Matisse would make that mistake, wouldn't he? And apparently, I'm told, is this right? Jason Cundy said Pedro Neto right now was the best winger in the league, Quaker.
Come on. No, can't do that.
I mean, you could list about half a dozen, can you?
No, can't do that. I really like Pedro Neto and how he started this season, and he was really good at the Club World Cup. not the best winger in the league. Like Mo Salah still plays in the Premier League.
Maybe saying on form, maybe given that Salah hasn't looked as good.
There's not a day in Pedro Neto's life where he'll ever be as good as Mo Salah.
No, I'm trying to play.
There's not a chance.
Right now, at the moment,
Madueke's playing better than Pedro Neto.
Yeah, that's a good shout, isn't it?
Yeah, no. I think Pedro Neto's been really good, and I'd love to hype up Chelsea players, but I can't agree that Pedro Neto's playing better than Madueke.
Has he been that good this season, Neto?
He's been okay. He played well against West Ham.
He looked frightening against Brentford in the second half.
In the second half against Brentford, he looked.
You were there, Ryan, weren't you?
Yeah, he offered them something completely different, and that was only when Cole Palmer come on though. He didn't really do much. I didn't feel in that first 45. He had a few runs down the far flank, and they were fairly threatening, but there wasn't anything to write home about. It was significant from what I can remember. The second half though, he sort of came alive, and there was one moment where I thought he was gonna. Sort of ripped down the
Harry Kane's through 1-on-1. Harry Kane, good save from Sanchez. By the way, I spend lots of time over the last 6 months criticising Robert Sanchez. I have to say, I think in this season, and obviously in the Club World Cup, he has looked less chaotic, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's looked better, right?
He's looked better, but we know the deal. He ain't.
It's just not a difference maker, is he? That's the main thing. It all depends on what you're benchmarking it against.
Yeah.
If it's a benchmark of last season, then it'd be almost impossible not to be. Exactly. Isn't it? Ryan, what was your hot take, or not hot take, but opinion you were going to give before half time?
Hang on. Isak's just about to come off here as well.
You guys are frothing at the mouth.
Any chance?
It would just have to be. Are you doing Saturday with us?
I'm not, mate.
Oh, okay. It would just have to be in the Merseyside derby then on Saturday, won't it?
Yeah, I think. Hopefully.
Hot take.
Sorry. By the way, are you around Saturday? I think producer Jamie's trying to get me to book you mid-show if you're around Saturday.
Jay, I've already got a pre-booking. You know that, lad.
We're only messing with you, man.
My general conversation about Gravenberch was we were doing a combined 11 with Liverpool and Arsenal, and it was looking at the midfield area, and obviously the options were Zubimendi, where Gravenberch, with McAllister, with Rice, with Soboslai.
Yeah.
And my view was, above everybody, I was like, he definitely gets into that side without a shadow of a doubt.
He plays as the 6, right?
Yeah, and it was a certainty in my mind that he definitely gets into that side. And I got laughed at by the people that I was having that conversation with. So I thought I'd bring it to the floor.
So a combined Liverpool and Arsenal midfield.
Yeah.
Well, I would say the given Declan Rice isn't even playing. Also, you could argue that Gravenberch's better anyways than Declan Rice.
Yeah.
But given that Declan Rice isn't even playing there, the option is Gravenberch or Zubimendi. And I'd have to say, I genuinely think Gravenberch has been one of the best players in the league.
There's some chat about Soboslai. There's some chat about Rice. Yeah.
Well, no, Gravenberch, you say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Zubimendi and the Gravenberch debate, isn't it? But for me, it just.
We'll have to wait and see how Zubimendi.
I feel like
I have to say that's
one of our most prolific players.
Yeah. Well, talking of Alexander Isak, his afternoon, his evening, has come to an end. He's being substituted at Anfield. He's coming off after 57 minutes. Started maybe a bit slowly, but he certainly had 2 half chances, didn't he? Right before half time, which the goalkeeper saved. No goal then for Isak today. Give producer Jamie just said in my ear, waste of money.
He's dying for the spot on this show, isn't he? I tell you what, the inputs have gone up since we mentioned it.
I think we could find a role for him where he almost just sits in the corner and just throws in random sort of hot takes throughout the course of the show.
I think he's definitely got the scope for that.
I tell you what, talking of Sanchez, he's just made another absolutely outstanding save in the Allianz. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1. So Isak, by the way, confirmation has gone off. Sanchez has just pulled off another really, really good save from close range. Cross comes in from Harry Kane on the byline. Oh, that's an outstanding save. Look at this save here. Kane pulls a ball back. Michael Olise looks like he's got an empty net to turn into, to put the ball into. But Sanchez manages to get himself back, throw himself to his right-hand side, and pulls off an outstanding save to save Olise. Oh, that's a good save.
Yeah, it's a good save. It's a good save. I think
that's a great save.
I tell you what, if that goes in, you'd be disappointed.
Oh,
I think you would.
No, you would.
That's a top save.
You would. You would be disappointed. Come on. If that goes underneath his arm. If that goes underneath his arm.
What, from like 3 yards out?
I'd be disappointed.
What, from 3 yards out? Come on.
I'd be disappointed.
I'm with Quake on this one. I think that's the top save.
He'd be like that.
Because Kane pulls it back.
Sanchez holding us back again. You know, that's what he'd be saying.
No.
Come on, mate.
Sanchez is at his near post. Kane pulls it back. Elise is running onto it a couple of yards out. Sanchez got himself back into position, throw himself to his right-hand side.
Fairly essential.
That's a great save, that is.
Fairly essential.
What are we talking about? All right, combined 11.
Gavin Birch is getting in easily into a Liverpool and Arsenal midfield. He's my
midfield three is Gavin Birch, McAllister, Rice, personally.
Well, but where's Sobersley?
Not in there.
Why is Sobersley not in?
He's a right back.
Is he your right back? Is he over Timber?
Who'd you have Sobersley over? Right.
McAllister.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I wouldn't.
I would, of course I would. Sobersley brings so much.
Would you have Sobersley over McAllister?
Would you have said that? Would you have said that before the start of the season?
I'm baffled.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Not before the.
I think we missed him in big games. I always think back to that Newcastle game when it finished 3-3. We missed him so much in that game. I think he's so underrated, Sobersley.
But before the start of the season, would you have said that?
I think I would have had that argument. Yeah.
Do you not think McAllister, in terms of Liverpool's midfield functioning, is more important than
I like
Szoboszlai?
McAllister, don't get me wrong, but I think Sobersley.
So what would your midfield combined be then? What did you say? Graven, Birch, Szoboszlai, and you went all through Liverpool?
Rice, it's definitely Rice, but a bit of fairness and balance. Go on.
Szoboszlai! Where's Isak?
Yeah.
It's offside.
Kwaku, how are you feeling in this Chelsea game then? Because Bayern Munich have started this second half better than you guys. You're kind of pinned in your own half at the moment, struggling to get out. If anything, it looks like Bayern Munich are going to be the next team to score. Bayern 2, Chelsea 1, 62 gone, Kwaku.
We're a threat on the counter-attack, so watch out for that. Bayern Munich could dominate possession as you expect at home. But like I've said before, it's Cole Palmer in the dream. We'll get him the ball and we can make things happen.
What would be your first substitutions?
I'll bring Esteval on.
For?
Pedro Neto.
Best winger in the league, apparently. Not taking that one for you.
No, I can't have that. I can't abide by that. Oh, goal.
Yeah, there it is. Well, what did I say, Kwaku? Right on cue. Bayern Munich were the team that were pushing for the next goal, and it's Harry Kane who made a point, didn't he, in the week that Chelsea fans don't like him, but he doesn't care. He's just slotted past the goalkeeper Robert Sanchez to make it Bayern Munich 3, Chelsea 1. Kwaku, Bayern have been all over Chelsea. This has been coming, hasn't it? Chelsea have been pinned in their own half. Harry Kane goes through. Harry Kane slots home. It comes to Chalobah, who's got the ball just outside his box. He plays it forward to Gusto, who then plays an awful backward pass. I'm not really sure who he's trying to play it to there. He makes an absolute stinker of it. It goes straight through to Kane. And to be fair, it's a lovely finish.
Clinical finish from Kane.
Do you know what? I'll change my mind. I'll put Reece James at right back. I'll take Gusto off and I'll move Esteval.
What made you do that?
I'll move Enzo into midfield and move Esteval out wide. Yeah. That was terrible from Gusto.
He just loses control, doesn't he? As he loses control, he panics. Almost tries to. There's a player coming in towards him, so he almost tries to tackle him. And as he does that, he ends up playing the ball straight into the path of Harry Kane, who makes absolutely no mistake in the finish. That's vintage Harry Kane, isn't it, Ryan?
Very vintage Harry Kane. And there's an argument. So we were talking about, the elite strikers, and you look at Haaland's performance against United on Sunday. I mean, he's up there, isn't he, Kane? There's absolutely no doubt about it. His penalty, there was no sense that he was going to miss that, and that finish is just it's sublime. Cause
vintage Harry Kane, really, isn't it? The way he opens up his body and curls it into the bottom corner.
Who's better, him or Isak? Rank him.
I'd have Isak.
No, not who you'd have, because obviously age comes into it. Who's better?
In terms of right now,
in
2025.
2025 is better.
I think Isak offers you more by way of all-round play, but Kane is unreal, mate.
Yeah.
You going for Kane or Isak?
I'll go for Kane.
You going Kane?
Yeah.
So if Chelsea could sign one striker tomorrow, Kane or Isak.
If you gave me Harry Kane, I can tell you that we could win the league.
Same with Isak, right?
So why didn't you sign him?
Same as Isak. Maybe Isak in his life had 2 years of scoring 20+ goals. Kane's had 8?
Yeah, that's fair. Harry Kane's record is an absolute, and it's showing no signs of slowing down.
No, in different countries, in different places.
The two subs, Kwaku, look like is that Buonanotte coming on?
No.
Garnacho and Buonanotte, wasn't it?
That wasn't Garnacho. I didn't see who the other sub was.
Oh, I thought it was Buonanotte.
No.
So yeah, Garnacho was definitely one of the players. He probably can't believe his luck, can he, Garnacho, by the way, given how bad he was at Man United. His next move now is playing Champions League football, coming off the bench, trying to get Chelsea back into the game. I thought the second player was Brennan Ossave. Maybe my mince pies are deceiving me. So it is Bayern Munich 3, Chelsea 1. Liverpool is still 2-1 up against Atletico Madrid. PSG are cruising at home to Atalanta, winning by 3-0. Inter Milan 2 up away at Ajax. And Forest... Oh, Swansea have a goal back, right on cue, against Nottingham Forest. So Swansea 1, Forest 2, 67 minutes gone. A header from a corner, and that game is well and truly game on. Right, what have you made of Liverpool's second half performance?
It's just missing that final pass, really. You know, plenty of energy to them. They seem to be dealing with the threat of Atletico well. I've not been too fazed by the chances that they've created, but they just... I mean, I've loved Wirtz in the second half. He's really come into his own a little bit more, and he's bursting through the middle here.
Yeah, Wirtz is in.
Play him on.
Play him. Salah should score. Oh, he's in the post.
Gosh,
oh, Liverpool break on the counter-attack. It ends up being played out to the left, back across goal, and Salah...
Right pass as well. It's the right pass as well.
Yeah, it's definitely the right pass. He tries to beat the keeper at his near post, but thumps the ball off the post. Does this game feel similar to some of the league games, right, where it's not just clicking, feels a bit of a struggle?
Yeah, to a degree. But, you know, if it ends in the way that league games have ended, then I'll be very happy. You know, I think they're still trying to find their rhythm, and there's so many glimpses of what this side can become. So I'm really excited. I mean, I'm not worried by any of the performances so far, because you can start to see when this all clicks, it's going to be sublime. I think Liverpool will have quite, in terms of performances, I don't think they'll get up to speed until sort of November, December time, but I'd imagine after January, because they will continue to put themselves in a strong position.
Sorry,
Elise.
Yeah, it was vintage Elise. The ball got played out to him on the right-hand side. You know exactly what he was going to do as he just went into the box. He was going to flick that ball onto his left foot and try and bend it into the far post. He did bend it, but it went past the far post. And it's Garnacho and Andre Santos coming on.
Yeah.
Where do you think Andre Santos' best role is in this Chelsea team?
In the Club World Cup, he plays as the solo six. In a game against Palmeiras, and played really well. But I think Enzo Maresca talked about him, but maybe being like a Enzo Fernandez backup, so maybe he's an 8. Reece James is coming off, so yeah,
like for like, really, in that respect, then, isn't it?
Playing as an 8 in this team. We'll see how he looks. He's a player that played really well in France last year on loan. And Chelsea fans have had a lot of expectations for him, but it's very competitive, that part of the field, where you've got Enzo Fernandez and you've got Caicedo and you've got Reece James who can play there as well. So he's going to have to take his opportunities, and this is a big chance for it.
So Bayern 3, Chelsea 1, 68 gone. But I thought Chelsea made a pretty good account of themselves in the first half and kind of had real good moments on the counter attack. But they just can't get hold of the ball in the second half.
No.
It's been a constant wave of Bayern Munich attack, really.
Yeah. Bayern Munich is just showing their class and experience at this level.
I think what was interesting, just from a Liverpool perspective, on that last move where Salah hits the post, Ekitike actually drifts out to the left-hand side and plays in Wirtz, who's made the deep run, and it's for him and Szoboszlai are both competing for the ball. Szoboszlai actually wins it in the end and then plays it onto Salah. But that might just be a sign of what's to come as well, in terms of fitting all of these quality players into the team. Ekitike's probably thinking, well, if he wants more starts, being able to take control of that left-hand side and be valuable on that left-hand side is going to give Slaughter certainly a decision to make, isn't it, when he's considering Gakpo or Ekitike.
But do you think the long-term plan is like the strongest team on paper would be Ekitike from the left?
I'd hope so.
Wirtz behind Isak?
Yeah, I'd hope so.
I know it's harsh on Gakpo, who's been so good.
It is. Gakpo's a great player.
Spend big money on Ekitike, expecting to start, don't you?
I'd hope so, yeah, but we just don't know. I mean, I think what he wants is pace and pressing, and he's got so many combinations, and I think Liverpool, were at danger of burning out last year, and he wants to guard against that. So, I think you're going to see a mixture right throughout the season of how they adapt their game, how they adapt their formations, and when other players settle as well, that might force a few more ideas. Because I think Wirtz, there's some conversation about could he play off the left in a few games.
Yeah, because possibly you could argue some games you might want the try and trust in midfield three of Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and McAllister, kind of reunited, and obviously that means one of the four and Gakpo I've got to miss out.
Well, what's the betting odds for 3-1? Liverpool 3, Atletico 1, because we've began our last 2 European campaigns with a 3-1 win. Lask in the Europa League, 3-1 win over Milan.
11-4. Liverpool with William Hill. 11-4. Liverpool to win 3-1.
That would be what I'd be pushing for.
There we go. Good stuff. Elise again. Oh, he's so good, isn't he? Cutting in on that right-hand side. This time, though, Chelsea do well. Managed to get enough bodies behind the ball. And, oh, goodness me. That's it. Every time Chelsea try and get out, every time Chelsea try and play out, they end up giving the ball away. And kind of the third goal almost just kind of sums up Chelsea's pretty limp performance in the second half. A little bit sloppy, a little bit clumsy, right?
What's your feeling for United on Saturday?
We don't ever beat United at Old Trafford. Like I say, last time we beat them there was when Fergie was in charge.
United
in 2013. It doesn't matter. United have been woeful for the last 10 years. We just don't win.
Is that the last time you won there?
2013 in the league, yeah.
Fergie's last season?
Yeah, Fergie's last season in May in 2013, Juan Mata scored for us. That's how long it was before he joined Manchester United. We are, for some reason, there's some grounds, like from Arsenal come to your ground, you just know Arsenal ain't going to beat you. Yeah. You know, no matter what really happens, where each team is at, they're just not going to beat you. And I'm not confident about going to Old Trafford and winning. Like until it happens.
Have you watched Man United this season?
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. Like Man United were terrible last season. They finished 15th last year. We still couldn't win there. Drew there last year. Season before that, finished 8th. Still couldn't win there. We lost there. Like we're just for some reason it's just a ground that we just haven't had much success at. And so, like I said, this looks like a loss. Drew against Brentford. I don't fancy us going to be Man United. And all of a sudden, it was 3 games without a win for Chelsea, who started the season very well.
So would this be a fair assessment of Chelsea, Quakey, where it looks like Chelsea are nowhere near strong enough this season to compete and push Liverpool and Arsenal? Yeah. And then would you also say that you look a lot stronger than, let's say, the chasing pack for the Champions League, your Newcastle, your Village, your Spurs, etc.?
Yeah, that's what I'd say we're at. And it's sad, right? I came to the realisation, and this is where I knew we were a different place. And you guys can say, sign this player, sign that player. Ultimately, I do agree with you. If money was no object and I was playing Football Manager, I'd do all of those things you're saying. But the realisation is that Chelsea are not in that space right now. Chelsea ain't going to bring... For example, back in the day, Chelsea under Roman Abramovich, Liverpool were messing around with the transfer fee for Alexander Isak. Roman Abramovich would have stacked £140 million down on the table and said, come to West London. That's what would have happened back in the day. We've seen Donnarumma about to leave PSG, and he would have said, here's whatever you need, you'll bring him in. This Chelsea team are in a different space right now. When's the last time that Chelsea brought in an established player, a world-class player already? Players develop into world-class players like Cole Palmer, but we don't operate like that anymore. We were haggling over £2 million for Mike Maignan at the beginning of the summer. And like he's not even world-class yet, Liverpool on the break.
Yes, the Boslai just played a great ball through to Mo Salah. He's through on goal. Going a bit away from goal. Got it on the right-hand side. Crosses! Ekitike is there! Shoot! Oh, he can't get the ball out of his feet.
Get the ball out of his feet. He's looking for the perfect...
Yeah, he's just got to be a bit...
moments, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just have a shot.
Literally a couple of yards out.
It's almost like he doesn't want to look uncomfortable or he look awkward when he's having a shot or make a pass. He always has to steady himself first, and he's just not getting afforded that route. And obviously the Champions League, he scored 6 and 9 in the Champions League last year. So, you know, there's definitely a sense that he's well at home in the competition. It's not the same arguments as the Premier League. No. But there's just been times tonight where you're like, just pull the trigger, lads. Just have a shot. You know, there's no harm in having a shot, even if it goes wide or, you know, you're just finding your range. I think if you look at Salah, the amount of times he cuts in on his left foot and he skies it or he hits it into somebody's shins, or he doesn't quite get the pace on the shot that he wants. The amount of times he does that, I think, God, you know, he's trying to find his range. And I just wonder if Ver's just always looking for that perfect pass or the perfect movement. 9 times out of 10, don't get me wrong, he tends to find it because he's such a quality player. But
Atletico, right, just having had a couple of chances, haven't they? Yeah. Just had another shot there from outside the box, left-footed effort, which takes a deflection and goes over. Yeah. But they're just enjoying it. Oh, they've had to push a few more bodies forward and try and go for it.
Well, you've got to be careful not getting suckered into a lull here. I don't mind chances like this every now and then. They're a quality team. You're not going to stop them from having chances, you know. But there is going to be a sense of if these start to be sustained chances and you keep building that pressure, and they keep exploiting us, that's when it starts to become a problem. And first appearance in the Champions League as well for Rio Engamola.
Yeah, what a nice moment this is for the teenager. Of course, he could have been doing this at Chelsea, couldn't he?
Yeah.
But he's not. He's doing it at Liverpool. We know he had that ridiculous moment away at Newcastle a few weeks ago.
What do you make about Engamola? Do you think he would have, if he'd stayed, say that hadn't happened and he'd stayed at Chelsea, do you think there's any scope for him there that he would have been able to get involved in this squad in some way? He would have played a role in some way, or could he have played a role in a couple of years' time? Because there's a feeling that he could be destined for the very top.
Yeah, but I think when he was young, when he was young. When he first signed for Chelsea, I think his parents were very considerate in terms of their approach, right? He went around and visited all the teams. He's been talented since he was 7 years old. Went around and visited all the top teams and decided, okay, Chelsea's the right place for me right now. And I think he assessed it when he turned 14 or 15 and said, is there a space for me? Is there a pathway for me in terms of playing first team football? He looked at Chelsea and said, probably not. I'd probably get loaned out to Strasbourg and get sold for profit. And I think he made the right decision, if I'm being honest. I would have loved to have him at my football club, but I don't think we'd see him play first team minutes at all.
But does that not frustrate you though? When you see him scoring a last minute winner for Liverpool away at St James's Park as a kid, do you not think this kid's been with us, we've developed him, we've done almost the hard work, and now we've let him or allowed him to do it at a team that are almost better than us, no?
Yeah, it is frustrating. I suppose that's just football, right? It's football is very situational right now. The fact that he's seemingly succeeding at Liverpool, I know it's early days, doesn't mean that he would have succeeded at Chelsea, who are not as stable as Liverpool. Chelsea wouldn't have been able to bed him in the same way that Liverpool can and offer him that stability that a young player probably needs. Comes to Chelsea, doesn't perform for one game, he's probably out of there. And probably don't see him again. So it's the
one game, hasn't scored, get rid.
That's literally where we're at with Chelsea. And Liverpool are probably the most stable club in the Premier League. So good on him. I think he made the right decision, and I think he's a player that we will see flourishing for both club and country in the future.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be bit parts this season, right? Moments off the bench.
I'm surprised he's played something. He's playing something already. Yeah. Because if you looked at our front six last year, and let's not forget, Chiesa's not in the Champions League squad, so he's been included over Chiesa, which again is fairly surprising given the quality. I mean, we've got to touch on Chalobah here. I mean, it's not looking good, is it?
Chalobah's down, holding his right arm, and these ones, the non-contact
is worrying.
Injuries always are the worst. He kind of came together with Harry Kane and ended up going down, holding his left shoulder, Kwaku, and he doesn't look too happy. He is back up on his feet, and he is, to be fair, walking off.
Anyone got Mark Gahey on speed dial?
Yeah, should have signed Mark Gahey. But at least he's up, Kwaku, and he's moving that left arm, isn't he?
Not comfortably.
No, it's not great. You're worried
because if he goes down.
Who plays there?
Yeah, what would be your concern? If he was out for, God forbid, by the way, if he was out for a long-term spell, what do you think the ramifications of that would be?
And what, in terms of where we finish in the league?
Wherever, your performances, where you finish in the league.
Chances of signing Mark Gahey in January?
I think we should. There's no reason why Chelsea shouldn't finish in the top four, injuries or not.
Where do you think he will finish?
Who would come in?
Fourth.
Pine City.
Fourth, Pine City. Who would come into centre back? So we've got Jarell Hato that we signed from Ajax. He been signed as a Marc Cucurella backup, but he can also play centre back. But he's very, very young. I would not be surprised to see us try and play Reece James in that position. It wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, Wesley Fofana's still there. Can't rely on his body. He's not reliable in terms of staying fit. Axel Disasi is still at the football club.
Do you think James is big enough to play centre half?
Yeah,
you think is it?
Yeah. I think he's technical enough. He's physical enough. And I've been calling for it for a little while as well. I think Reece James in centre back would be an absolute monster. But you take away what makes Reece James, that crossing ability.
Yeah, that's why he's so good, right? That ability to whip those balls into the box. Engamoa is on for Liverpool. He just tried to do too much down the left-hand side. Yeah.
Really good pre-season. I think pre-seasons kind of get underrated. He was good for Liverpool in pre-season.
And impressed, yeah.
Well, we have seen some... I mean, look, the great example of that is Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott had a great pre-season. Now, he got an injury early on, to be fair, which is scupping him. But, I've seen players so many times have a great pre-season for Liverpool and then not even be involved in the plans. And it's so disjointing because you think, oh, surely he's going to be, in the 14 or in the main 15, and then and they just tend to be a fringe player for whatever reason, or because of a variety of reasons. But I am just surprised that he's got so many minutes early on, and they obviously could have invested in potentially a left-sided option and chose against that because they've been so surprised at his calmness.
When you got Ekitike and Gakpo on the left.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Options
They got Ekitike, and that's what makes it so fluid, doesn't it? If you look at our forward line now, it looks so fluid. So there is going to take time for that to bed in, but it can't be at the expense of results. I think the only time you can start having conversations about have Liverpool brought in too many new faces and they're not clicking early enough, and are you worried? Is when they're not winning games.
Yeah.
If they're winning games, it's sort of irrelevant. It's a moot point because they're allowing themselves to do that whilst having no ramifications of the result of the fact that they've given themselves 2 months to
run off
to
the
bed
pitch. Enzo Fernandez walking as if we're winning the game. Run off, get off.
One bad game. Is he out of there now? One bad game.
I can't really say what I think about Enzo Fernandez.
Why?
Because
his contract is elsewhere.
Is that because you work for Chelsea?
No. Okay, I can't criticise Enzo Fernandez because he's given Chelsea goals and assists, but he's a player in his early 20s that looks like he's playing in his mid 30s. No athleticism, no physicality. Yeah, decent on the ball. He starts scoring goals, gives you assists. But when I just see him as a centre midfielder, I look at some of the other centre midfielders that we've talked about, right? Maybe it's a slightly different position, but what Gravenberch can give you. Now he's a 6, but previously he was an 8. When you look at a Caicedo, when you look at a Declan Rice, when you look at the mobility of some of the best centre midfielders...
Physically
and what
powerful.
was his fee? What was his fee?
105
million pounds. So let's not say the money's not there, because the money is there. It's been invested in the squad, and you don't even think he's a good enough option to compete at the top level. It's 105 million pounds you paid on him.
Yeah, okay, cool. But if and that is what you get. And that is what you get.
Mate, this is lined up for a winner, mate. I'm telling you.
It's Liverpool 2, Atletico Madrid 2.
A last-minute winner in Liverpool fashion. Convinced of it.
Get in there.
Lorente, isn't it? He's just scored another wonder. He's got a wonderful volley.
Huh? Can't do anything about that.
Outside the box, first time volley, it beats Alisson. And I said this to you, Ryan, about 20 minutes ago. Atletico Madrid have been the better team in this last 20 minutes. They've had better possession, better moments, more control of the game. Liverpool have been relying on counter-attacks. And I have to say, by the way, I think Atletico probably deserved this on the power play. Yeah. A shot comes in, takes a deflection of Canate, and then Lorente does shoot. He connects with it well, but it does take a wicked deflection, and it beats Alisson. Yeah. But it feels un-Liverpool-like, 2-0 up, to be so sloppy and let's go back in this game.
It's an air of complacency, but I don't think you see... We've saw moments of that this season. We saw moments of that
in the Newcastle
game as well. So, it would not surprise me in the slightest. It might be, look, this is when the luck runs out, but it would not surprise me in the slightest if Liverpool score a stoppage time winner here, or
Engamoa
in the last 10 minutes. It just wouldn't. Engamoa, maybe. I'm trying to think of the options that are on the field.
Bayern are in again for 4. Oh, Sanchez makes a really good save. The offside flag does go up. But yeah, Bayern were playing in down the left-hand side. Sanchez comes out to do well to narrow down the angle. It ended up being a bit irrelevant because the offside flag went up. It was Luis Diaz that went through for Bayern Munich. But are you been concerned, Quaku, against good opposition? How bad you've been in the second half?
Yeah, a little bit. Just not really looked at on their level at all. And when I look at Chelsea last season, granted, Liverpool on the beach, you have to accept that, but beat Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, gave a good account of ourselves at your place. Yeah, Arne Slot talked about it. Granted, the games against City were poor, both home and away, but we looked decent last season against good teams. But this looks like a golfing class and maybe a golfing experience when it comes to Champions League. Not many of these players have played Champions League football before. Not an excuse. You're playing for Chelsea, you've got to perform, but you can see the difference in quality and experience between Chelsea and Bayern Munich tonight.
Well, where are the Chelsea fans at with Enzo Maresca? Because obviously I spent so much of last season.
Penalty.
That's a penalty. And you were very much up and down, weren't you? Has kind of the cup wins just completely almost given you guys faith that you sort of domestically he's the one to take you forward?
Yeah. Football's about winning. And if you in your first season as a football club finish in the top 4 and win the Conference League and win the Club World Cup, I think you'd be silly as a Chelsea fan to be calling for his head, because what more did you want? But with Chelsea, there is no... Again, I'm not digging out certain football clubs. There's no phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. You got to carry on winning. You got to carry on winning trophies. And if you don't carry on winning trophies, Chelsea fans will be impatient. At other football clubs, it's more about...
But that just goes against exactly what you just said for the entire show.
What do you mean?
How is there no phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5? They're not even competing apparently with Arsenal or Liverpool. They're going to be winning trophies, haven't they? You just said.
Yeah, we do have to be winning trophies.
Yeah, so where's the phase?
Is the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup not a trophy?
Yeah, I suppose so. But
Suppose so.
Is that what they spent 105 million on? Is that what they spent 115 million on Caicedo for, to win the FA Cup?
What do you mean?
Is it? I'm just asking you. Is it? Is that what they spent that money on?
Do you know how much those players are getting paid per week?
Get out of it!
Do you know how much those players are getting paid per week? Enzo Fernandez, I think, is, if anything, just north of 100 grand per week.
I don't have the access that you have. I don't have these Central Park walks, with Cole Palmer or Enzo Fernandez. I don't know those details, mate.
Is that what Cole Palmer was saying there as you guys walk around Central Park? He said
details.
next season's all about winning the Carabao Cup. That's what we're dreaming of next season at Chelsea Football
It's
Club.
about winning silverware. It's about winning silverware.
Yes.
And I think that what Jurgen Klopp did very well, especially towards the latter stages of his time at Liverpool, is when you weren't winning league titles and you weren't winning Champions Leagues, you were picking up Carabao Cups, and you did pick up an FA Cup, and that does pacify fans to an extent, right?
Mainly because Liverpool were pushing so close for the lead. They were on like 97 points.
Oh, Canate has to score, Ryan. Yeah. Oh, it's a really, really good in-swinger. Canate gets a run on the ball, completely unmarked, and his header's really bad.
Okay.
And he misses by a long, long way. But that was a big chance for Liverpool. Carry on the conversation, boys.
But you say 97, no, because the era of when you were getting 97 points, you weren't actually picking up domestic trophies. In that era, Klopp actually underestimated the domestic trophies. So it's towards the end where you maybe weren't competing as closely with City in the league. You were picking up those Carabao Cups, and they were against us. I remember them all. Like, literally
all on penalties.
All on penalties. And so I do think that if this season Enzo Maresca wins the FA Cup and finishes 4th, that'll be viewed as a positive season for Chelsea, definitely.
And that's phase...
There's no phases.
There's
phase
no
3?
phases.
No, we're just...
Phase 2.5?
We're in phase win trophies. That's it.
Milos Kerkez is coming on for Liverpool on 86 minutes.
What's the time right now? 10 to 10.
Man, this is Champions League. At Anfield.
And it's a Kerkez own goal.
It doesn't get much more kind of in your
It's
face.
3 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, it is 3 o'clock somewhere. It is.
Garnacho's coming forward for Chelsea down the left-hand side. That's another nothing ball into the box that Bayern Munich...
That passage of play right there, yeah.
Go on.
The calmness of Bayern Munich, where the ball comes in and they just pass out the back, and it's so easy for them. That's the difference. Because you see like Liverpool do it, or you see like a PSG do it. That just level of calm. Oh, Garnacho. That level of calmness in...
Not sure that deserved that much excitement. That did it. That one.
He didn't know.
Garnacho on the ball.
That Barnett. But
I mean, if Liverpool do win this game, by the way, it is quite outrageous.
Yeah.
First 5 games in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That would be quite outrageous.
Say that again, right?
I said if Liverpool do win this game, which I've got a feeling they will, it will be quite outrageous.
Well, it'd be right kind of keeping him pattern with Liverpool's season so far. Not playing particularly well and winning games of
football. It would just infuriate people more and more.
The haters would be absolutely furious.
The hate watch is going to be... Here we go, Ekitike.
Gets him jumbled up. I think, and no doubt will come from a deflection.
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer! Yes!
Goal! Game on!
Get in there! Get in there!
It had to be Cole Palmer, didn't it? In the 89th minute, Cole Palmer's maybe just possibly given Chelsea a smidgen of hope. Away at Bayern Munich from close range, played in, slots the ball past the goalkeeper. Cole Palmer's first goal was fantastic. Esteval, he's offside. It's going to be disallowed. I think his right foot there is offside. Quaker, you're right. The pass from Esteval was outstanding. The finish from Palmer, first time running onto it, is absolutely... The nonchalant finish is perfect, but I think the Palmer went early, and I think it's going to be disallowed for offside.
That's a shame.
What do you think? Is he offside?
Yes,
I think he looks offside.
Yeah,
I think his right foot, as he made the run, looked offside. But that is a pass from Esteval. That kind of ability to be able to play those through balls, unlock defences is crucial, isn't it?
Like when him and Palmer play together, you can just see the telepathy. Like the telepathy?
Is it
telepathy?
Telepathy, is it? Yeah.
Telepathy?
I don't know.
What is it?
That sounds more right.
Yeah, offside.
And confirmation, that is, corner for Liverpool in front of the Kop. Van Dijk! Oh, it's just gone wide.
Just wide.
Oh, I think Ekitike missed the header at the near post.
Yeah, I think he's
and it then just
by him, isn't
bounced off. Van Dijk did it. Ekitike and Kirkes go for it.
Gone for it.
And yeah, it goes wide. And I think this is not
no, he
going to
thinks
be...
it's a corner.
Confirmation, by the way, that Cole Palmer goal was offside.
What player, by the way?
Yeah, it was a really nice ball. And a nice finish, to be fair. So we are entering the final couple of minutes then of our Champions League 8 o'clock games. It's comfortable victories for Inter Milan away at Ajax by 2-0. PSG 4, Atalanta 0. What are you making a noise for, Quaker?
Nicholas Jackson coming on for Bayern Munich.
Nicholas Jackson coming on for Bayern Munich with 2 minutes. By the way, how often? There's 6 minutes. I swear that said 2. Definitely said 2. It did say 2, didn't it? I'm not going crazy.
Yeah,
I was about to say, how often do you have 2 minutes of time added on in the second half? Yeah. Harry Kane's coming off, and Nicholas Jackson is coming on for Bayern Munich with 6 minutes to go. And this obviously is a unique situation, isn't it, Kwaku?
Yeah, it is a unique situation. Obviously on loan from Chelsea. Some officials at Bayern Munich said there's no way that's becoming an obligation because he's not going to play 40 games for Bayern Munich, which is a kind of demoralising thing to say about players just joining the football club. But I wish him all the best, man. I thought it was quite harsh the way that Chelsea dealt with him.
Why?
Especially because I know that he's contracted to Chelsea, but
I think he's good enough to play for Chelsea.
I think that they made it crystal clear that they didn't want him anymore. And then as soon as Nicholas, or as soon as Liam gets injured, all of a sudden the move's off. If that game's, my kickoff times again, if that game's at 4:30 on a Sunday rather than 12:30 on a Saturday, Nicholas Jackson can make that move out any issues. And so I think sometimes we're quick to point out that players do this and players do that, and players shouldn't hold out, they've got a job to do. Swansea have equalised.
Swansea have equalised against Nottingham Forest. Swansea 2, Nottingham Forest 2. It's going to go straight to penalties then. In the 94th minute, we've got 2 more minutes of time added on. Yes, so Swansea 2, Forest 2. 4 minutes of added time. 4
added on at Anfield.
What, you want more, do you?
See what I mean?
Yes.
The entitlement.
Please.
4 added on at Anfield. Why do you think that at Anfield should get more time? This is what I hate about Liverpool, man.
So Bosler with a shot.
I
hate Liverpool fans.
This is an entitlement.
What does that mean, entitlement?
The sense of this means more, that kind of thing. It's just like, does it? You're a football club. You're like everybody else. This means more. This is us. Yeah. So much romance around the football club side. You're
Corner.
A football team.
Come on.
We'll take that. So Swansea 2, Forest 2 in the Carabao Cup. We've got 2 minutes of time added on. And that is possibly then going to go to penalties.
Ange can't afford to go out.
What do you mean can't afford to go out?
I suppose you get more conservative.
You can't afford to go out of the competition.
What do you say can't afford, though? What do you mean he can't afford to go out?
Because I think the remit for Ange is is win a trophy. I think is win a trophy. I think that's the reason why you bring in Ange Postecoglou, because finishing 17th in the league doesn't certainly cut it as a Premier
Van Dijk! Sorry, that was another one of those balls that just hung in the air for an age.
See number 4 from the back.
You see it? And it doesn't get anywhere near it in the end. Ball. That's going to be a goal. Corner? Come on, let's go play.
By corner.
Yeah, corner.
Come on. Corner, that. Why are you touching it?
The pressure, mate. Pressure of Anfield.
Oh, I'd be fuming. The way you've talked to
this
me
means more.
I'll be fuming.
Don't take things personally, Quaker. It's just 3 lads watching football and having a laugh, all right? Mate, you watch the Swansea Forest game, because Swansea have got a throw in, and they're going to launch this one into the box. Ange can't afford to lose. Feels like a big statement to make. Second game. But if he does lose, though, like when you say can't afford, it almost means like,
oh, no!
It's Van Dijk!
No.
Come on! Huh? Come on! You have to beat Van Dijk!
No, get off me.
That ball was in the air for so long.
Get off me, both of you. Oh my God.
They say don't leave Liverpool games early. What do we have? First game of the season.
He's having a fight with the crowd.
Here we go. It's kicking off at Anfield. What's happened?
He's fuming.
So Virgil
I think they're saying they weren't calling.
Get in.
No, I think I don't. Has he having a go at some of the fans?
He did. He was having a bit of a row there, but I was a little bit distracted.
So Virgil van Dijk has headed the ball into the back of the net. Liverpool 3, Atletico 2.
Good tune.
What's happened?
It's an outswinging corner from Szoboszlai. And Van Dijk,
bang.
Oh, it's a brilliant. It's an outswinging corner. He's quite far away. And he has to head the ball into the ground, into the far corner. Why don't people have players on the post anymore? It's absolutely crazy.
I think all he's asking for is, I think he's saying it wasn't a corner. That's the only thing you could be arguing.
Pointing almost like, I didn't know if there was something that happened. Did a fan say something?
Oh, God.
Absolute limbs, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Forest were 2-0 up. Swansea.
Oh, wow.
That is unbelievable.
That's unbelievable.
Nottingham Forest 2-0 up in the Carabao Cup are now losing 3-2. I can't wait for his interview already after the game.
Man, it's going to be
Swansea 3, Nottingham Forest 2. The cameras are still panning here.
It is the...
The game hasn't even started yet, has it?
Nah, something's kicking off.
I think he's pointing towards our fans. I don't know if there was if a fan had said something to him.
He's been sent off.
He has been sent off. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was just not happy. Maybe he wasn't happy with the corner, but
mate, I was just
just
recovering from our fifth
oh my
goal. The last 10 minutes.
Every single game this season. Every single game. Home, away, Premier League, Champions League.
And I made up, given the way you've talked to me tonight, I made up that he scored that. Cannon.
So, this is on paper. This is great. He's going to look 5 games. Yeah. 5 wins, 5 late winners.
How many in stoppage time?
Let's have a look.
4?
So the Bournemouth one wasn't stoppage time, was it? But it was late.
No, 87.
The Newcastle one was.
Yeah.
The Arsenal one was late 80s.
Yeah.
The Burnley one was. Yeah. And this one was.
Yeah.
So we're saying all the goals have certainly been the last 8 minutes, haven't they? Yeah, Swansea, by the way, full time. Swansea have beaten Nottingham Forest 3-2 in the Carabao Cup. Cameron Burgess scoring in the 97th minute. Forest were 2 up cruising. Ange Postecoglou loses his first league game away at Arsenal. He's shaking his head on the pitch. He loses his second game in the Carabao Cup. They go to Burnley this weekend, full time at the Allianz. Bayern Munich have beaten Chelsea by 3-1. Inter Milan win 2-0 away at Ajax. PSG start the defence of their title comfortably with a 4-0 win at home to Atalanta. Liverpool 3, Atletico Madrid 2 on another special night at Anfield, and Liverpool. Salah's in. Salah's through.
Play across straight away.
in the box. And he misses from close range.
That's a hard
That's
finish.
the difference. No,
that's a hard finish.
He's had to score that.
He does, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's a hard finish.
It came in with pace. It had to bounce right in front of him. It wasn't an easy finish for him.
Yeah, you're right.
Kwaku, Bayern Munich 3, Chelsea 1. What are your thoughts on Chelsea's performance in that game? First half good, second half not so good?
Yeah, first half good, second half not so good. Cole Palmer doing what Cole Palmer does. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Liverpool game. Yeah, it's a difficult finish, but any striker worth his salt has got to be... Harry Kane scores that. Like, Isak scores that. Okay. I think he's got to score that. Personally. But yeah, we saw the golfing experience, and hopefully Chelsea can learn from this and kind of get better. And where the group phase or the league phase is longer, it's not a killer losing one of these games, right?
Oh, goodness me, that's a really good chance. Cross in from the right. Sorloth gets his head on it, straight into the hands of Alisson. He made good connection on that. And thankfully for Liverpool, it was straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, Alisson.
Oh, wow. This has been a crazy game.
Oh, I tell you what.
Yeah,
he should do so much better there. It's actually a really bad hair. And there is the full-time whistle. Liverpool, it's basically, you don't really need to watch the game. It's a win. It's a late win. It's not a good performance. Don't leave Liverpool games early. Ryan, Liverpool do it again and do it again late. Liverpool 3, Atletico Madrid 2.
I mean, lads, why would you be worried about this?
Never that, was it, really?
Every time you're scoring goals in the last minute of games, the mentality of that to go, yeah, no, we're just going to do it again. We're just going to do it again. And why would I be worried about it? There's nothing to be worried about.
So annoying.
Unreal.
So annoying.
Unreal.
So annoying.
And now we need another one in the derby. I'd like 93rd minute this time.
And the goal scorer, please.
Oh,
who do you fancy scoring the derby day winner in front of the Kop?
Vitz.
Yeah, one of the new boys.
Vitz, probably. That'd be great.
Yeah. Quakey, what did you make of Liverpool's performance? And is this sustainable? Can Liverpool carry on doing this? You look more upset Liverpool have won than Chelsea have lost.
No, like it's fair enough. Like, fair enough. I don't know if it's sustainable playing like this and consistently winning football matches, but they won't carry on playing like this. This is Liverpool who are...
that you think at some point it's going to have to click and play better. At some point, when it's not Liverpool Football Club, it's still winning games of football.
Yeah, and that's the issue for everybody else, right? It's just Liverpool just finding a way to do it, and eventually it will click, and eventually they will start playing good football. But another game, another late win, and that's just great for morale, right? That's the way you want to win football matches. If you're not going to dominate a team and beat them 3 or 4-0, then you want a last-minute winner, especially at home in front of the Kop.
It just galvanises everyone, doesn't it? You leave with that special feeling, and it's like they never say their attitude. The players are going to fight towards the end.
Do you remember Leverkusen when they had that run? That was the most notable thing, wasn't it?
Yes,
it wasn't my club, and I look at Leverkusen
in the Europa League.
Yeah, and they just had that sort of like run every time you watch Leverkusen. You think they can't surely win it again, and they have, and it just puts the image in the opposition's mind. we're never safe. It doesn't matter if it's 93rd minute, 94th minute. I'm sure, again, like I couldn't see where the winner was coming from today. I couldn't see where the winner was coming from against Burnley. I couldn't see where the winner was coming from against Arsenal. Yeah. Newcastle the same because it was so late in the game. And even Bournemouth, like I couldn't see where the winners were coming from. And they've still found a way on every occasion.
I'm just, yeah.
Great, isn't it?
No, it's not. I just look at this team and look, that obviously you guys have won and whatever. Just Virgil van Dijk, man, he continues to amaze me. Whenever the ball comes into the box from a corner, he's always the man you're looking for. That number 4 shirt, that imposing figure. I think you have to appreciate every time I see him on the football pitch because he's one of the greatest that I've ever seen. The best centre back I've ever seen.
You think he's best in Premier League history, don't you?
Yeah,
early said he was.
Terry and Ferdinand have got the accolades. Eye test wise. What can those guys do that Van Dijk can't? And now he's wearing the captain's armband. Now he's lifting the trophies. He is just unbelievable at everything. The best centre back the Premier League's ever seen.
So that header, by the way, was some because it was an outswinging corner. So he had to almost compose himself, generate the power to go goalwards. It was some header.
Yeah, he's an absolute joke, man. And of course, the other guys got more accolades and stuff. I think Van Dijk is not.
I think we've had this conversation a lot on this show.
Yeah,
but I don't. When talking about the best. Like obviously I use Steven Gerrard as the prime example. Steven Gerrard for me is the best midfielder that I've ever seen play in the Premier League, and we know he's won no Premier League. So it's like if we're looking at ability wise, you can't just because there'll be lots of central midfield players that won more league titles than Gerrard that clearly aren't better than him. Yeah, and clearly don't deserve to be in a team of the season or team of the decade or whatever.
100%. But I think when you're talking about greatness, it's both accomplishments and like performances as well. So I think if Steven Gerrard would have won 3 Premier League titles and a couple of Champions Leagues, we're not talking about just Premier League. We're talking about like the Xavis. So we're talking
but is he still not regarded one of the best midfielders of his generation?
Not in this country, yeah, but not necessarily like when we're talking about the greatest players of all time.
Sure.
I don't think Gerrard makes a top 20 list.
Really?
Top 20 players of all time, no.
All time? Or our era?
Of all time, yeah. He doesn't make that. But I think Steven Gerrard, just ability-wise, does. Yeah. Like, eye test-wise, he does. But I think the reason why when you're having those conversations why you don't have him there is because like Xavi won a World Cup and 2
everything
Euros,
basically, yeah.
And Gerrard didn't. That doesn't mean he's not he wasn't an amazing player, but when you're having these conversations, I think hardware just does matter a little bit. But you can't take it away.
Throw you one kind of on the spot here, right?
Yeah.
Like Steven Gerrard has always been my favourite Liverpool player, and I don't know why. Maybe because of my age, he always will be my favourite Premier League player. But in terms of like best Liverpool have had in Premier League era, do you think like Salah now goes above him, and is possibly Van Dijk on the way of going above him?
It's so difficult. It's so difficult because it's about the role that they played in that side. And I think it's so harsh on Gerrard because the players he was playing with
were not Salah and Van Dijk and Alisson and all these.
And I was thinking when you were talking about there with Gerrard and saying, well, is he in the top 20 players of all time? But if would he be in that conversation had he not been at Liverpool? He would have. Circumstances. So circumstances. So I think it's so difficult to judge him on that. But if you think about an elite player, he had everything. He had absolutely everything. He come in clutch. He's a great runner, great passer of the ball. Could score goals for fun.
Win games of football almost on his own.
On his own.
Made him different to a lot of other midfielders.
Yeah, exactly. You think of all of the modern day qualities that you need. That's ultimately what set him aside as world class. So I don't think there's much in it, to be honest with you, because they did exactly the same job. Salah and Van Dijk in some ways, because Van Dijk obviously he's won us the game there, but also defensively has won us many games, and Gerrard the same. He was such the linchpin of that side for so many years, and if he was in this side, then he would be unreal. So I think they're on a par. I wouldn't put Salah's accolades just because Salah's won more. I wouldn't say he's the better player.
Would you say if Salah was born in Liverpool that it'd be no question about it?
No, not at all.
Really?
Yeah, not at all. No.
I do think that matters to me as well. Like that,
being a local player means more to the fans. Obviously, when you've got one of your own.
Those people from the area living vicariously through you. Steven Gerrard was not only an incredible player, but he was from Liverpool. I think, well, maybe it doesn't to you guys, but to me that matters. The fact that John Terry is amazing to us because he was from our academy. I think that thing does mean
possibly. So then just confirmation then of the 4 results. We had some drama tonight, didn't we, boys? Liverpool left the late to be Atletico. Bayern 3, Chelsea 1, Ajax 0, Inter Milan 2, PSG 4, Atalanta 0. What else are your takeaways? I guess Isak playing an hour, getting through an hour, and kind of showing these signs of the sharpness and the quick feet. kind of bodes well going into the derby, Ryan?
Isak got better and better as the game wore on. I don't think he features much, if at all, in a derby. I think the logic behind it is his fitness and managing his fitness. And Slot's used the example of Visser, who went to Newcastle, and now he's injured because he played 290 minutes. And I think they're going to be careful with him because
maybe bring him off the bench on Saturday.
Potentially, but he might get the last 10 minutes against Everton, but I would be stunned if he played the same duration or 45 against Everton. I really would, because they've got to manage his minutes, so he's not going to play that significant game time across the course of a week and 2 games yet. He needs to build up those minutes because he's still lacking that sharpness at times. So I don't think he'll feature much against Everton, but I didn't need to know this because I've sort of seen him play for so long now in the Premier League. He's going to be such an asset once he gets going for Liverpool. The few glimpses, and what I was really excited about tonight was his chemistry with Wirtz. He seemed like Wirtz and he said there just seemed to be a connection straight away. He was always looking for him, always finding him with the pass, and sometimes just Wirtz's pass was slightly off or hit at him too hard, and even the chances that he created, he's just taken what is a nothing ball, quite a dead ball, rolled into him and spun it into a chance.
Wait, could you think Liverpool the best team right now as we enter the Champions League? Are Liverpool the strongest team in the competition? Are they the team to beat? Should they be favourites?
Yeah, they should be. It's tough. No. It should be. Like, I'm coming from a biased point of view because I saw my team turn over PSG 3-0 at the Club World Cup and become world champions. But PSG beat Liverpool last year. They
on penalties.
Yeah, but you got a lucky win at their place. They backed. Alisson had
defensively.
Alisson had.
If that was Arsenal, you wouldn't say it was would you? You'd say defensively, really.
No, Alisson.
I'll be honest, that wasn't.
Would you know? Would you?
Yeah, I would.
If that was Arsenal, if that was Arsenal, would you?
No, I would. If Ryan made 7 world-class saves, then yeah. But if your defenders made block, but Alisson had the game of his life. Like they battered you, and then you got a last-minute winner. Okay. So I think PSG should be favourites. I'm being honest, personally.
Right, last word to you.
It depends on how long, because Dembele and Dembele and Doué are both out. I mean, it didn't really.
Doué played tonight, didn't he?
No, Barcola.
No, Barcola and Kvaratskhelia, of course, I thought he was also out as well. And also, we don't know the effect of the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
We don't know how that's... And you've already seen quite a lot of...
Have you seen anything quickly from Chelsea compared to the worries you about the Club World Cup in terms of fitness and how you're looking maybe compared to other teams at this moment in time?
Yeah, players going down with injuries, for sure. Yes, it's had an effect. But with Chelsea, I don't ever want to use that as an excuse. We had the youngest team in Premier League history last year, and you won that tournament. If you don't win that tournament, then I can understand if you're an older team like City. Chelsea got the youngest team. You won it. You should have a buzz off of it. You didn't need to play a pre-season. So, like, I will never use it as an excuse.
But it's not necessarily about Chelsea, but with PSG, the final it's so hard to go back to back.
Yeah. To
add then another equation into it that they've had to compete in this tournament where other teams like Liverpool and Arsenal haven't.
Yeah.
I think that's.
And bear in mind, PSG won every other trophy, so they got to the latter stages of every competition.
Yeah.
They're going to struggle a little bit.
Gentlemen, brilliant stuff. Kwaku, Ryan, it's been good. Kwaku, you're back on Saturday on talkSPORT Goals. We're back to Premier League action. So a busy night, a fun night of Champions League football. Liverpool, well, let's say him again. Win, not play great, and leave it late. Liverpool beating Atletico Madrid in the Champions League by 3-2. Chelsea, not so good in Germany. 3-1 losers away at Bayern Munich. Inter winner, Ajax PSG. They start the defence of the Champions League with a comfortable home victory against Atalanta. In the Carabao Cup as well, Nottingham Forest and Ange Postecoglou, they were cruising away at Swansea, 2-0 up, ended up losing by 3-2. This has been Here Comes Jermaine Pennant. Do you want to...
Come on! That's what we do! We're monsters! We're monsters! Come on!
Jermaine, you can plug the sports bar. I'm next to the sports bar.
Yeah, I'm next to the sports bar, so we're doing Liverpool 3-2. Thanks for watching, guys. Great show.
Yeah, I can see why you're not the host, you're the co-host. that needs some work, Jermaine. The sports bar's next for Rory Jennings and Jermaine Pennant. 03717 22 33 44.